You with the Crocs, me with the dress. Oh, it's those guys. They know what's going on. They're so hip.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, August 25th, 2013. Time for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination, episode 542.
This is No Agenda.
Switching to nuclear threat warning level 3 here in the Travis Heights hideout in the capital of the Drone Star State, Austin, Texas. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm picking up the slack, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
What do you mean picking up the slack? That infers that I'm slack?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. All right. Good then.
I'm just picking it up.
Yeah. You're my canary in the coal mine, my friend.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, when that Fukushima cloud comes over, it's going to hit you first.
Oh, it's coming now. I can see it.
So if you die,
it's a big black cloud.
If you die, then I know I have something to worry about because, man, are they ratcheting that up or what?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, actually.
And I figured some of this out. We already know where some of this is coming from. And this is still about the 300, it's 300 tons of water. And we went through all the calculations, how it's not actually all that bad. But here's the reporting came through on CNN, which I watched a little bit of yesterday.
Concerns over a toxic water leak at Japan's Fukushima nuclear plant are now intensifying. That is because the country is getting ready to push the nuclear accident warning level to 3.
I love the verbiage used there. What are you doing? Oh, I'm pushing the nuclear threat warning level to 3. The whole country's doing it.
Which means it is classified as serious. That is the highest level it has been since the huge earthquake and tsunami triggered the massive meltdown back in 2011. The situation is so troubling, Japan's top nuclear official is now comparing that plant to a house of horrors.
Yeah.
Horrors?
Exactly.
It's a house of horrors?
It's a house of horrors. Can always count on you, John. You didn't miss a beat. This is really quite interesting. And I've been trying to figure, of course, I would say right off the bat that I'm very skeptical about the danger, the house of horrors coming from Fukushima. We've been hearing this for quite a while. But there's a couple of old people who have popped up again now who are in this conversation. Have you ever heard of, John, the GE3?
Yeah, that's the refrigerator they were making in the 50s. That was a big flop.
No, the GE3 was, now we're going back to the 70s. These were, actually, I should, the GE3, I thought I had it in the show notes. Let me just bring it up here on the Wikipedias. The GE3 were 3 nuclear engineers who, quote unquote, and the Book of Knowledge, Wikipedia, actually has this in quotes, blew the whistle on safety problems at nuclear power plants in 1976. They then subsequently went on to become technical associates and advisors to the movie The China Syndrome, which conveniently came out, like 12 days before 3 Mile Island.
Yeah.
And these guys, they were part of something called the Creative Initiative Foundation.
You did some digging today.
Yeah, no, I'm getting a little pissed off about it because these people are now back, and Gregory Minor, I think, is the main guy who's back, and they're talking the same smack they were talking about. Well, no one died during 3 Mile Island. I might want to point that out. But I think I figured it out. It makes so much sense, really, when you think that we have the new IPCC report due in less than 6 months. Now, this, of course, is the big climate change Bible, and I think we've gone from 95% of all scientists in the entire universe to 97% believe in man-made global warming and climate change. So this report is on its way, and I think here's what the issue is. We have this we have natural gas now. It's I think about $4. John, can you check? That's
I can check as a matter of fact.
So it's $4 per 1,000 tons or something. Mega flips.
It's right. It was
whatever they call it.
At the square feet per whatever.
Yeah. So that's $4 at the wellhead.
$3.49 as of today.
Oh, it's down a little bit. You know that by the time it comes to your house,
I don't even remember getting to $4.
Yeah,
It's always been floating around $3.50 to $3.75, something like that.
And so this is it is going to inch up a little
Depressed,
bit.
by the way. That's a depressed price.
It is depressed, yeah. But I guess the real problem is, the whole climate change thing. If we don't have, we have alternatives to what we're doing now. We have natural gas, which is probably going to become expensive when the depression on the price stops. We have nuclear as an option.
People are banking on that. I mean, they're hoping to God that it becomes expensive because
they're losing their shirt on it.
You're right. Everybody's losing money on this natural gas.
So they really got to make this nuclear thing really, really, really scary because if we don't die from if we don't have actual bodies to show for this nuke thing, then people might start thinking about it.
No, I think the logic here is correct because they can't seem to get this natural gas thing to work out.
No,
and that of course then and also because much of it comes from fracking, which is a nightmare public relations. Nightmare.
Well, no, it's only for those people who
exploding tap water
and people fall into sinkholes and earthquakes are occurring in places they've never occurred before. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah.
So I think they're beside themselves.
But it's kind of fun to see where you have people who obviously care about the environment, and I will point out that people say, "You guys don't care about the universe, the environment." Yeah, we do.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, he was on
That's your guy.
On BitMessage. That guy again. He pops up from time to time.
That guy gets too much attention.
You don't care. You don't care about environment. Yeah, no, of course I have a kid. John's got kids. Of course we care about the environment. But we also care about not being bullcrapped. And, you can't have it both ways. If you're either going to die from global warming and we have to do something, and if gas is not going to be it, then what's it going to be? Is it going to be solar? Which I think solar, quite honestly, does have a place. I mean, it'd be wonderful
in Washington State.
Well, that's not the place I was thinking of. I was thinking,
it does have a place. It's called Arizona.
Texas is really great for.
Texas is good.
Yeah, it's kind of like. I'm hearing these things are working out better and better, but still, when the sun goes down, that's it. What are you going to do? You can't run the house on batteries, can you? I mean, that's challenging.
What they do. There's these battery systems. You run cars on batteries, you can do the same thing with your house. But it's kind of expensive to have the kind of batteries you need to power the house.
Yeah.
So
So this the IPCC report's coming. Al Gore already out there in full force talking about it, and it was quite funny. What's the guy's name? Ezra Klein? Is he a Times reporter?
I don't. It sounds familiar.
Ezra Klein. So Ezra Klein interviewed Al Gore because, of course, this is all coming up now, and so the new IPCC report is going to, I guess, contradict the whole idea that weather is not climate because, of course, all these violent storms we've had, they're all part of man-made climate change. And in this, and unfortunately, this is only a written interview. With Al Gore. I quote from it: "Would there be hurricanes and floods and droughts with man-made global warming? Of course, but they're stronger now. The extreme events are more extreme. The hurricane scale used to be 1 to 5. Now they're adding a 6. The fingerprint of man-made global warming is all over these storms and extreme weather events. Unfortunately, there's no 6. It doesn't go to 11. There is nor is anyone planning on adding a 6. And so for Gore to say that they're adding an extra notch on the scale just in time for his report is of course incredible.
Bullshit.
And then Ezra Klein came back the next day and said, "No, I transcribed it wrong."
Oh. But wait, he did transcribe. They're adding. Wait, here's the quote. They're adding a 6. I transcribed it wrong?
Yeah.
What did he say then? They're adding a 0. They're adding a 5.1.
Hey, hold on, let me bring up his mea culpa. That was funny.
Transcribed it wrong.
Hold on.
How is that a transcription error?
Well,
unless he made it up.
Well, let me go. I have it written down here. So I'm going to tell you what he said wrong. On Wednesday, I published an interview with Al Gore in which he mentioned that the scientific community was beginning to consider Category 6 hurricanes. The line has attracted some criticism, I'll say. Because there are no official plans to add a sticks category to the 1 to 5 scale. Here's what I had Gore saying. Then he goes in this whole thing, and he says, I'm out of town, away from my tape recorder, so I asked Gore's staff about the line. So apparently he didn't have his tape recorder, and I guess he was transcribing it from memory. The whole thing is, can't someone just admit that Gore said something stupid?
No. Can't be done. Gore probably said it and then denied it later after he was discovered.
Yeah, and conveniently there's no tape recorder nearby.
Yeah, right. Just yeah, this makes nothing but sense. So Gore's full of crap. This guy won't call him out because he's on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it all ties in. You've got the nuclear thing. We really got to be afraid of Fukushima. We're all going to die. And again, when you go, then I'll know I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'll be here for a while. I can guarantee you that.
It's going to hit you first, my friend.
It probably hit Portland.
You can't. Don't eat any fish.
Yeah. I got the Geiger counter. I'm not worried.
There you go. So what you been up to?
So we've got a conundrum on our mailing issue. Of course, people, if they didn't get the newsletter that was sent out yesterday, they should go look around for it because it's probably somewhere. I put in the newsletter, and we talked about on the show this craziness that's now going on. And what's interesting to me is that it is completely inconsistent.
Yeah, because we have some providers like Outlook. It's not showing up anywhere. It's not even getting into spam, I think.
Here, let me read a couple of the notes. In fact, it is getting it through some, and then some others is not. This is what's weird, but this is happening with all the carriers. This is Nicola says, congrats, John. Gmail just upgraded the newsletter to spam.
Yay!
It was sent directly to the spam folder.
We've been upgraded.
I got it in Yahoo. That's how I knew about this particular note. So now it's Gmail's just throwing it in the spam. John, I have the new Gmail inbox style, and he's getting it in the promotions. When I slide these messages from the promotion box to the inbox, the individual message moves across to the inbox, and a box appears saying, undo, do this automatically for future similar message from the same sender.
Right.
Clicking yes within 5 seconds should see us going forward. I've had other reports that they tried this and it doesn't work.
I've tried it with a Gmail account, and it still went into spam. Into promotions, I'm sorry.
This is Orion242 writing in. Hotmail is dumping this in the junk folder. As far as I remember, this is a fairly new development.
Now, there's a couple things. A lot of people think that they're not having a problem, but that's because they have an email client configured with their Gmail or Yahoo Mail. So if you're using IMAP or POP3, you're probably not going to have this issue.
Maybe.
Although you might have the junk mail issue.
Junk mail issue. Here's another one from Alan Asaf. He says, I'm an Outlook.com user, which is the new version of Hotmail, and 9 out of 10 times the newsletter gets moved to the junk folder. This happens even when I report to Microsoft that it is not junk.
Yeah. So
that's what I consider the big problem, which is people are reassigning the status of the mailings,
right,
and then they're paying no attention. So what? You're just a stupid user.
Well, but I think it's worse because if you look at Gmail specifically, you'll see in the promotions tab, if you haven't, this only is really a problem if you're using the webmail interface, which most people do. I think a majority of people use it. Yes, they do because
it's the most convenient.
Yeah, it is convenient. If you look at the top there, you'll see that Google is accepting money to promote other emails. Now, may not necessarily be emails, but they are listed in an email box at the top of your promotions tab, and they're accepting money from people to be listed there. And I find that to be the real offense here.
Yeah, no, this is an extortion racket. They're essentially saying to you normal, users of MailChimp or whatever mailing service you want to use, you'd probably be thrown in junk mail. For a few pennies, it's possible that we can maybe avoid that situation.
Well,
These are thugs.
It's very much like Facebook. Now, Facebook is not an email system, so I don't care what kind of racket they're running. But if you want to make sure that everyone who follows you on Facebook actually sees your update, then you have to purchase for $4 a promoted post. And otherwise, they determine. They just came out with a whole new thing about their metric that how they determine what you're going to see. It's not who you follow, not who you want to see. It's what they think that you want to see. And if you want to really promote
they have their nerve. If I'm following you, I'm following you for a reason.
Do people even know this? Do they even understand this is going on? That
a lot of people don't seem to understand that it's going on.
I have the here because
I didn't hear from you. I must have missed it.
I love people who try and invite me to things through Facebook, like they have this invite thing. So somewhere in between 50,000 other scam invites, I'm going to fish yours out of it and actually going to use it. Let me see if I can find this. Here it is.
I always wonder why anyone even uses these invite subsystems. But just invite somebody.
Yeah, just call them up. Here.
Call them up. Hey, you want to come over?
You want to come over and hang out? We're cooking. Newsfeed FYI showing more high-quality content. Every day, people see content from millions of pages on Facebook in their news feeds. Our goal is to show the right content to the right people at the right time, so they don't miss the stories that are important to them. As part of what we want to make sure that the best quality content is being produced, surfaced, and shared, our latest update to the newsfeed ranking algorithm helps ensure that the organic content people see from pages they are connected to is the most interesting to them. Yeah, where's my hooker pages? I don't see any of that. So how do we find highly relative
content?
Listen to this. How do we find high quality content? Well, while the goal of Newsfeed is to show high-quality posts to people, we wanted to do better, to understand what high-quality means. To do this...
Wait, stop. Start reading in that slightly surfer voice that you do. It's really exciting. The one I really like.
While the goal of the Newsfeed is to show high-quality posts to people, we wanted to better understand what high-quality means. Like that? Am I
oh, yeah, that's it.
To do this, we decided to develop a new algorithm to factor into news feeds. To develop it, we first surveyed thousands of people to understand what factors make posts from pages high quality. Something like that. I can't read. Some of the questions we asked included, is this timely and relevant content? Is this content from a source you would trust? Would you share it with friends or recommend it to others? Is the content genuinely interesting to you, or is it going to try to game the newsfeed distribution? Oh, people are gaming it, i.e. asking for people to like the content.
Yes, like.
That's what everyone does. Please like this.
Yeah, there's pop-ups.
The whole idea is to game the newsfeed. Anyway,
like me.
So, and that's fine. Whatever Facebook does, it's their own business. And if you're sucked into that, Mimi, then it's fine, Mickey. If you really think people are seeing what you're posting, but for it to be a part of email, where that's the racket. And you're right. I'm sure that eventually, people who wind up in that box are going to return email that says, "Hey, would you like to not be listed in the promotions tab?" It seems that would be the logical way to fulfill the scam.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, it is hurting our business. A lot of people did hear our call on Thursday. That's nice. Understood that we were being hurt by this, but I don't think it's
still
over.
Have a low response rate on this last Saturday newsletter, meaning that most people didn't get it again. Now, some people, there were some apparently, if you get it through off your phone or something, it doesn't send back a notification, so those numbers are. The more people that use phone to retrieve their email, the more the more skewed the number becomes. But that's not the problem.
Okay.
Because that didn't change overnight.
Right.
It's like one day everybody decided to pick up their email on the phone. No.
Right.
No, they've changed their filters on all these things. So we're not the only guys that are having this problem. I'm absolutely sure of it. Everybody who's trying to do a newsletter and using the public internet to send email is being screwed by these free email services from these companies who are just looking for some other way to make more money.
Very encouraging, though, is the amount of emails I received from people saying, "Hey, you know what? I loaded up Linux on this old piece of crap laptop I got laying around, and I think I figured it out, and I'm able to send and receive email. If you receive this, then I was able to send." You know, some people and said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just following the directions. They're out there. Other people are going to, I think, collabs is, you know, there are other places where you can go, but eventually, you know, you're still kind of stuck there with the man in the middle. And lots of people going to BitMessage. I'm getting a lot of stuff through BitMessage, which arguably is, you know, no one can really take down. It's the weirdest, but it works. You know, people can actually get a message to me, and I can get a message back to them. I kind of like it. I think this whole, you know, BitTorrent kind of decentralized thing is good. I think we're going to see more of that.
Yeah, but it's not for the general.
Yeah, but you say that. But why? Public. I mean, that's why. Why not? I mean,
why do I say that?
Yeah. Why do you say if it looks like email, if it smells like email, and the only thing is you have a different a different address? What difference does it make?
I think people just can't deal with anything more complex than what they.
You hold the human race in such high regard. What? What's that?
It's Forvo.
Forvo?
Yeah, you ever use it?
No. What is Forvo?
Forvo is the all the words in the world pronounced. So I was just looking at our spreadsheet for because we actually got a lot of response.
But what is Forvo? What does it do?
You push a button and it pronounces any word you type in. So I can use this now to pronounce all these crazy Dutch names.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to thank this. You want to thank some executives.
Fuck you. Oh, sorry. That's my Mac. It talks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Well, in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak. Let me say that.
Adam Curry. In the morning to you. In the morning to you, Adam Curry. In the morning to all ships and sea boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there, and barons and baronesses and dukes.
Yes, and in the morning to all of our human resources in the chat room, noagendastream.com, noagendachat.net.
In the morning.
That's right. That is Doug joining the show. Yeah, I don't know what Forvo is, but I got Doug.
I got Forvo.
Yeah. Oh, and thank you to our artist. Thorin came in for episode 541 with a great piece of album art. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com is now. Was that an evergreen we used from Thorin? I can't remember because we had a hard time. I think finding it. Yeah, let me see. I think we had. I think it was tough coming up with something, and we used one of Thorin's evergreens. Yeah, we used the macaroni and cheese one. So let's see what everyone comes up with today for 542 No Agenda Art Generator.
We have to. We keep saying we're going to discuss a little bit about the art for the artists. A couple of things they need to know. One, do not. By the way, I also want to thank Patrick Buige, who, or you could pronounce it. I'm not going to go to Forvo for it. for the art that went into the newsletter, because I use a separate piece in the newsletter, and this is the one with the SWAT team on top of Segways. I thought it was just a funny piece. Anyway, do not put the show number in the art, people. And because we will go back and pull out a piece of art, but if it's got a show number in it, then we can't use it ever again. So if you don't hit the home run on that one show, you're never going to have a follow-up. The other thing you should note is that if you're going to put type in there, you have to look at the noagendashow.com website and the size of the art that Adam uses. I use bigger piece. I use 400 pixel wide, which makes it more legible. But right. Adam uses like 200 or 250.
Well, no, I literally shrink it down by 50%. And in the show notes, we always have the full size art. And then but for the blog post and on the on noagendashow.com, as well as the art itself for the MP3, where we also put the art in. One of the few shows that does that. It shrinks down. So you don't want to have type, font that's so small you can't read it when it's downsized by 50%.
Right. So you have to, so don't design for the full size. Design for half the size.
Right.
And was there anything else that we were complaining to each other about?
No, but I'm glad you picked up
we also know that people are trying to guess what the show's going to be about.
Well, no, the guessing is okay, but please,
if they hit it,
original art. Don't taking something that's funny from somewhere else and that'll be great. No, that's not great because you're stealing someone else's stuff. We want original.
And we're crediting you.
Yeah,
we had
exactly.
that. Let's see, which we had the one with the. I think there was an Evergreen with a person. It was a statue. Here it is. It's Patrick again, which I assume he did similar thing with those guys on the SWAT team. But what we do. Here's what we do. We take, if it looks like you didn't do this art because it's way too slick.
We check everything. Actually, we're like, okay, this looks too good. Where did you steal it from?
We put in the Google image search as an image, and which you can do with that little camera. You click on the camera, and then you can upload an image, and then Google looks around to see what other copies are out there on the internet, and you see all the copies, and it's like, oh, well, there's a million of these out there. Somebody did this someplace else. So if you haven't changed it enough, it will be.
We can. Parody is always good, obviously, but
and legal. It's legal to take a artwork and make fun of it, and it's now a different copyright. But generally speaking, most people don't know how to do that right. But so we really appreciate this art coming in, and some of the stuff is really good.
Onward.
I personally don't think guessing what the show is going to be about is going to help because we actually lost. We're going to talk about the dog.
I know. Wait a minute. Before we do anything, I have a clip about the dog so we can still talk about the dog. How does that sound? All right. Yeah. Here is CNN. The president did 45 minutes with CNN I think for a number of reasons, and I pulled this one.
Bo was getting lonely because the two other puppies have grown up, and they still have some responsibilities for him, but they're not always around between school, sports practice, all that stuff. And so Bo was starting to look a little down in the dumps.
Yeah, but we actually know what's going on with this.
Right.
Because what's happening is they switched to the other Obama, and Bo is growling at this one. So it looks really bad. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, no, obviously the dog is not getting along with the second Obama.
The other
and so
Obama.
He's growling and barking and howling, wondering where his other one. Maybe he's even sniffing at a mound of earth for all we know.
It's so like, where's the Boston? I think down in the freezer down there at the White House.
Down in the freezer, spending too much time down in the freezer.
Something's going on with that freezer.
So they had to get a second dog. Now I put this in the newsletter on last Thursday, knowing that I'd say anyone who's listened to the show for more than a year
understands.
Already got that, or already figured this out. They've said, I know what they're going to say, but that's the only thing I can.
Yeah, and then we forgot. Then we forgot to mention.
Yeah, we forgot to mention. Meanwhile, a bunch of art came in
for the dog.
Well, but you can't blame him for guessing because I said in the newsletter that's what we're going to talk about. So it was very unfair to the artist for us not to do it because we teased it. So it's our fault.
Mea culpa.
But most of the time, they're just guessing out of the blue.
Yeah. Did you hear this whole thing the president talked about the dog? He was actually pretty funny in this particular bit. I mean, the world is coming to an end pretty much financially. There's all these things happening, and he's contemplating invading another country. But we got time to talk about the dog
inside the house. And Sunny, the new dog, she's only a year old, and the truth is, she's faster than he is. She jumps higher. She's friskier, and
every man has to learn that.
He is trying.
He said something weird. Every man has to learn his dog. Is that what he said? That was kind of weird.
Wait, play it back again. I think he said something. Maybe he said something slightly different.
I think he said every man has. I thought every man has to learn his dog.
And
every man has to learn that.
He is.
Every man has to learn the what?
I don't know. Maybe it's being just a sexist thing because the one's a girl dog and she's very high.
Trying to keep up. But I think that ultimately it's going to, he's loving it. And ultimately I think it's going to be...
See, he's talking a lot about the old dog. He's like, he's loving it now.
The dog's not that old.
3, I think. He's like, but he just wants that dog to stop nipping at his heels. Here, go play with this dog. Just imagine. Go, get off. Quick, they're going to see the difference. Get off. That's great for our book. All right, let's thank some producers. Thank goodness we have a lot of our existing knights, barons, dames, baronets, baronesses all coming in who hear the call and have definitely evened it out for the week. But I see what you're saying.
Helped quite a bit. So we have a lot of, and of course, David Foley, the Earl of Silicon Valley, who's decided to
adopt us,
carry the show.
Yeah.
He's
sure.
at 608.99 in the morning. Bartle and James from the Earl of Silicon Valley. This is $5.42 plus $66.66 for the 6th anniversary, plus 33 cents for the mac and cheese fund. And by the way, the mac and cheese dinner is 39 cents.
Is it that cheap now? Is that the?
I got photos.
Where is this available? This 39 cents
grocery outlet.
Grocery outlet. So
It's referred to as gross out.
yeah, 39 cents. And is it a dinner? Is it for two?
It says dinner.
So it must be for two.
Mac and cheese dinner, and there's no cheese in there. There's just powdered crap, which is really the absolute creme de la creme of the idea. Take it to the max. 39 cents.
Powder.
Some powdered goo that you mix with water, and then you heat it with the macaroni. Ugh.
Oh, you still have to provide your own macaroni?
You do have to have a burner or a barrel fire. You have a barrel.
Sterno.
You need some sort of cheap thing to heat it. Although I'm guessing that if you took this stuff and you soaked the macaroni long enough at room temperature, it would soften.
I think you can use your crack pipe burner. That should probably work.
Right. That would
That's going to be great. Wow. All right. Well, thank you very much, Earl of Silicon Valley. It is lovely. You also, of course, besides being one of our executive producers today, also received the rare honor of being the sole member of the 542 Club. And your support is highly, highly, highly appreciated. Tell us, do you know what he does? I mean, he's got bank, our Sir David.
He runs Hyperware. It's a company in the Valley.
Oh, really? What do they do?
Yeah. Well, let's look it up and find out. He never really brags about it.
Well, we can brag for him. Hyperware. It's Hyperware Technologies, isn't it?
Yeah, Hyperware Technologies.
Is he the CEO?
I'm
Hyperware.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, seems like he is.
Hyperware Technologies. Okay, I've got a website. It's a big. It's not. It's just a website with just a page, just their logo.
Oh, the CIA. Okay, we got that figured out.
Okay.
Finally, the CIA is giving us money.
It's about time.
All the support we give them.
Hey, let me tell you. We had some bad news about that.
Yeah, what?
Let me bring up the email. I got an email from one of our guys, and we are on the agency block list. NoAgendaNation.com, NoAgendaShow.com are both being blocked.
Really?
Yeah, and the company that manages these networks inside the agency, it's Eagle Alliance. It's a joint venture of Computer Science Corporation and Northrop Grumman, and they're the ones that manage the block list. So they've put us on the block list. Now the good news is both Curry.com and Dvorak.org are unblocked, and the stream is also unblocked. So they can still
So let me get this
live.
straight. Northrop Grumman,
yes, has blocked.
Is it part of this deal?
Yes.
Isn't that the company owned by EADS, or they're affiliated with the European Airbus group?
Yes.
They're not even Americans.
No.
So, in other words, a company affiliated with overseas ventures
censoring us
is censoring us to Americans, trying to discuss these issues with Americans.
Let me double check. I'm just going to look at Northrop Grumman. Our heritage, global, blah blah. I don't really say where they're from.
No, they're an old famous company, Northrop in particular.
Yeah.
And they were, as far as I know, they were bought by EADS or something like that. Let's look up the Wikipedia.
Yeah, I will.
Northrop Wiki. Northrop Grumman. Okay.
It's an American global aerospace company. You may be wrong here.
I might be. Their New York's their NOC is their.
No, they seem to be legit. Okay, well then it's all right, I guess.
No, it's not all right.
Since you're American, go ahead, block us.
I'm telling you, there's some arrangement they've got with the other side.
I'm not so sure.
What do they got? What's the point of it being in information technology to this point where they're doing blacklisting?
Yeah, well, because we're talking.
I have an idea. Okay, they're not owned by EADS, but let's just say they stink. It's a company that stinks.
Well, I think the drone talk that we do may have something to do with it. They're not,
that could
they're
be.
not so happy
they're
with the
huge
drones.
drone makers.
They're kind of the drone guys. Yeah.
All right. Well, fine.
But it doesn't matter because how silly is it that we have 700 domain names that you can potentially get the show through, and particularly Curry.com and the Dvorak.org. I mean, that site is malware. I mean, no one should be touching that website. So, okay, we're good. But anyway, we're very happy, those of you at the agencies who are listening and who take the time to circumvent the Northrop systems in the morning to you. And thank you for joining us.
Right. But that was a long-winded one announcement. But David, you're getting your money's worth. Mark Hurdy in Denmark, in Corsair, which is what I was playing on the Forvo site, 349. He has a note. He wrote in, so I got a note from him. And I got a bunch of notes that people wrote to me. This was actually printed, though, so I don't have to try to read it.
No longhand?
No longhand.
Okay.
You win. Your persistence paid off. You have given me such a bad conscience for listening without donating. I can't take it anymore. So enclosed, you'll find a check, old school, the amount of half my IRS tax refund. My donation breaks down as follows: 333 to No Agenda. I suggest you use it for couples therapy. I'm also making the inaugural donation to the Curry Dvorak Consultants for your literary recommendation. Here's how it works. You guys recommend a book. If we read it and like it, we give you guys a finder's fee. To get the ball rolling, I'm giving you $5 for It Can Happen Here, $5 for Economic Hitman, $5 for Family of Secrets, and 67 cents for Atlas Shrugged. Hope the idea catches on.
By Ayn Rand.
Come on, that was deserved.
He wants blanket
67.
karma for anybody who needs it more than I do.
Absolutely.
Shout out.
You've got karma.
He also finally a shout out to C-Scope for hitting me in the mouth, and also to Derek Sipnewski for both helping propagate the formula on YouTube. That's interesting. ITM to all the slaves of Scandinavia, special ITM to Scandinavian knights who should be henceforth served with snaps and silled upon their joining the round table.
Schnapps.
Oh, schnapps.
Schnapps.
Right. Should be SCH, I think. But
Schnapps.
Snaps.
Schnapps.
Schnapps. He doesn't have the C or the H.
It's like gin. It's like gin. Schnapps.
It's not like gin. It's more like Kurswasser.
Okay, sure. Kirschwasser. Was ever.
All right, onward. Sir James Spitzer, who actually should have come in on Thursday, but Eric took it upon himself to put him on this spreadsheet since he came in after the hour. And he wants to be known as the Baron of, I think it's in the note. I don't have it in front of me. You have the...
Well, no, but I'm going to need to... Oh, the Baron of Jamaica Plain, Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it there. We have it ready to go.
So that's what he is now.
Nice.
Richard Garrett, 33333 in Thunder Bay, Ontario. ITM John and Adam. Here's the money to help alleviate your troubles thanks to the email dilemma. School starts in 2 weeks. Can you get a shot at karma?
Absolutely.
You've got karma.
Thank you, Richard. I think
He also has a little note here that says, fuck Google and Microsoft.
I didn't even know if you were going to read that, but there you go.
What he said.
Yeah.
Just quoting. Sir Andrew Largeman, who is actually Sir Andrew Largeman, Taipei City, 33333. In the morning, John and Adam, here's the final installment for my knighthood, towards which Adam shall contribute a penny. We don't have him listed as a knight here by the color coding. Is he on the list?
No, I think he has. I don't know what's going on. He's already a knight.
Yeah, I thought he already was a knight. It says Sir Andrew.
Well,
okay. I'm befuddled.
So am I, but I'm going to knight him again.
Okay, boss.
Just in case.
Okay. Thank you guys for what you do. My request is what we do, C-SPAN jingle, and a No Agenda reads a book, so you don't have to jingle. We have that?
No, I do not have that, and I looked for it because I saw the note come in. I do have the C-SPAN form, and I'll hit him with some karma, but I don't know about the book part.
What we do, so you don't have to.
We read a book!
Ladies and gentlemen, that is
karma.
That's production quality. At its best.
Right there.
It's amazing we can do this show.
That's what you're paying for.
William White, $333 from Pleasant Hill, California. I don't have a note from him that I know of.
Me neither.
Saab Swiss in Berchtesgaden, Swiss. 250 bucks. He's an associate executive producer. Within less than a year, I got addicted to the No Agenda show and listened to it carefully, so I won't listen to much of it during a day because it has to last until the next show is available. I like it because it's informative and funny at the same time, and I appreciate that you both are very honest. That means you have the courage to show emotions, and you call bullcrap, and idiots, which is very refreshing. This is the reason I decided to become an executive producer of the show, and also because I can't forget the call for Swiss money Adam did on the show in June or July of this year. I remember it each time I listen to the show. Well done, Adam. Please send some karma to my friends of the Scarista Air Brigade. I'm sure the karma will get to the place it's needed most. Thanks a lot, and please continue with your excellent work. P.S. Please call me by my gamer name, Saab Swiss, which is my virtual personality.
Very nice. Here you go. For the brigade.
You've got karma.
I bet you that's his gamer brigade. Scarista Air Brigade.
Could be.
Yeah, probably. Cool. Thank you very much. And yes, thank you for listening. Oh, and here's this guy's cool, Reen. I think he's I think he's donated before. This is the crazy. He does.
He's the photographer.
Photographer, yeah.
He's
a
world famous photographer living in Hercules, California.
That's right. World famous.
Reen Riethoven.
Reen van Riethoven. Close.
Reen van Riethoven.
Yep.
And he's in with $250.
He sends me lots of emails.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, you like emails.
I do.
That's good. I think it's great.
I do. He's always like...
Mail him more often.
Yeah.
Francis Lambert.
For sure.
In Zabic, Croatia. 24243. ITM John and Adam. Here's some value for value. Keep up the great work. Send some karma my way as I have some important meetings.
Yes. All right. Meeting karma.
You've got karma.
We're there for you.
All right. So now I got to find another note. There's a pile of them, which is kind of problematic. This is a note from Ron Boyd in Ontario, California. JCD has note. Here it is. This is written in not in longhand, just
block letters.
Printing. Block letters,
or is it newsprint cut out and pasted?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Greetings
from Ontario, California, also known as On-Terrible. A place where many of us, people like to do material on the show, a place where many of us merely aspire to live the American dream of just getting along.
That's not quite right.
No, but it's a joke. It's an on-terrible joke. It's an on-terrible joke. Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Not too long ago, I encountered a sudden and pleasing need to repurpose my life. One of the new skills I have been trying to acquire is developing mobile applications. Oh, God.
Yay.
He wants to build a no agenda application, see if it can make some money for the show. On the end, I built the No Agenda Karma Generator. Since it's no longer practical for every producer to get a karma jingle, I thought it would be fun if they could make their own to share with friends and family. The No Agenda Karma app is currently an iOS universal application, with the iPad version being the most elaborate.
So this already exists?
I guess. He's going to work on the Android.
Cool. So it's a karma app? I'm going to look for it right now.
Yeah, he says it's outstanding, he says himself.
Well, hello.
By the way, the whole art gallery theme is a bit of an homage to Miss Mickey. I know almost nothing about her, but somewhere I found a photo album of her gallery openings, or I guess he's got her photos there.
Yeah.
Having been a boner for so long, it's only proper that I pay my dues and show my appreciation for all the work you guys do. Here's some money. Ta-da. Ron Boyd. All right.
Thank you very much, Ron. And I'll check. I'm trying to find the Karma app. It's there's a lot of apps called Karma in the App Store.
That's a problem. Yeah, you have to come up with
misspelling. Or mail me so I can put a link in the show notes.
Misspelling is useful. Chris Spears, $222 in Austin, Texas. Hi, John and Adam. Hope more value for value finds you well. I hear to request any clip, but I must hear Lord Dvorak order obedience.
And does he want a karma with that, or just...
I'd give him one.
Okay.
It's in Austin.
You will obey. You will obey. You will obey.
You've got karma.
Joseph Frost in Wooddale, Illinois, as the Mafia for $200. As the mafia of sports, the NFL begins again, I offer value for the tremendous value of the No Agenda Show. Stop the CTE of mainstream life. Donate now. May I get a LGY and karma? Thank you.
Absolutely.
You've got karma.
For those of you who are new to the show, LGY is Little Girl Yay.
Sean Alaka in Mannequin Sabbath, Virginia. You ever been there?
No.
$200. Hi, Crackpot Buzzkill. This is for Sunday's show. I'm sorry for using PayPal, but I can't get a check to you in time. I became a devoted listener 2 months ago and love the show. I don't know how long it takes a regular to become a douche, but I wanted to donate to avoid it completely. Not sure how much I can write here with follow-up in an email to John. Thanks for a great show.
Well,
And it's pronounced Alaka.
regardless of whether you're getting a de-douching today, which is what you deserve for that donation.
You've been de-douched.
Thank you very much.
That puts him a douche plus, because if he never has gotten douched, he wouldn't need de-douching. So he owes us a douche.
You should be a little douchier.
Right. Yeah, it's all free now, at least for a while. All right, I want to thank all these people and a lot for picking up the slack from last Thursday, which was really pretty bad with one producer. I want to remind people to go to channeldvorak.com/NA, Dvorak.org/NA, noagendashow.com, even though it's blocked by Grumman, those bastards. And also the noagendanation.com. There's a donate button. You can click on there and find an alternate page for donating.
And I also want to thank our producer, Brian, who made a whole post about how to figure out the troublesome Gmail promotions tab. You'll find that, of course, in our PR section in the show notes at 542.nashownotes.com, along with a link that I've brought back for the Red Book, rdbk.net. He's done pretty well, our producer here, who is he's now taken most of the predictions from the Red Book and put them into the site.
Oh.
And so, for instance...
I get it. RDBK Red Book.
Yeah, so for instance, we have Bill Clinton dies in the saddle. That's that's right there. Wiener adds to Clinton body count. I mean, he's listening to the show. He's putting it in there. I'm liking it. This is
yeah, well, somebody might as well do it because no one's going to believe us. We're so because it's too incredible to believe.
Exactly. So you'll find
that is a prediction on top of another prediction.
An official prediction.
That's actually a fine-tuning of the other prediction, which is fine. It counts.
And again, thank you very much to our executive producers and associate executive producers. It works just like Hollywood. These are actual credits. You can use them anywhere where credits are valid. But a lot of people seem to find great value by using them on their LinkedIn profile for some reason. It seems to get a lot of attention, so it could get you jobs, whatever you want it for. If you just want to, just carry it in your mind, that's fine too. We appreciate it, and a lot of
there's a pickup line in a bar.
How would it work, John? I'll pretend to be a
hey, sweetie.
Yes.
So did you know I'm a No Agenda producer?
Wow, No Agenda. What's that?
Oh, it's the greatest podcast in the universe.
Boom! You just got hooked. Hit you in the face right there. Go away, creep. Best podcast. I thought you were like a real producer. Try it on the LinkedIn profile. Guaranteed to work. Please remember us.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And of course, you can always do the exact opposite, which is go out and propagate our formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order. Shut up, slave.
Squirrel.
Shut up, slave.
I'm kind of excited, John. Kind of excited. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe I don't know why the spokesholes in at the White House and the State Department, why they took these 2 weeks off. I thought everyone was done with vacation. Well, we had all these stand-ins. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And we had Miss Psaki was not there.
I know, that's a shame. I think she's probably having her heart transplanted.
Well, I'm kind of happy with Marie Harf, who they brought in. Now,
HARF, as in HARF?
Yes. Now, there's a reason for this, because Benghazi, something happened here. Benghazi's back in the news. Here is the kind of the quickie little headline.
News has confirmed that Secretary of State John Kerry has cleared 4 State Department employees who were punished after last year's attack on the U.S. diplomatic post in Benghazi, Libya. The four officials had been placed on administrative leave by then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Ambassador to Libya Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans were killed in the Benghazi attack.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. What were you saying?
With full pay.
Right. So they suspended them with full pay, and they just switched jobs. We already had figured that one out. But now they're back, and this is, of course, there's reason to question this. Now, Matt was also on vacation. So we had some other actors in the State Department briefing, kind of shredding apart this.
Wait, hold on a
HARF.
second.
What?
Matt?
No, Matt was on vacation. Yeah, I think he's
the Reuters guy.
Yeah, the Reuters guy, Matt.
And you don't think it's a coincidence that he went off with Psaki?
No, of course. Okay.
Anyway,
Marie.
I guess there's one way to shut her up.
Marie. Formerly was a spokeshole for the CIA.
Oh, great.
So she's not used to what goes on in this particular briefing room.
Stated that Secretary Kerry, upon assuming office in February, launched this internal review of the ARB's findings. That disclosure, in turn, raises a number of questions, which I'd like to go through with you in turn. Number one, who led this review of the ARB?
Well, first, I would like to clarify exactly what that statement means.
Now, you kind of have... I'd like to clarify what that statement means. You have
a squeaky voice.
You have to get a picture of her, because she has...
Okay, what's her first name?
Marie.
Marie HARF, H-A-R-F.
H-A-R-F. And you'll see that she looks just like a Saturday Night Live skit. I mean,
oh, God. I see her.
You look at you're watching this video. You're like, this can't be true. This is the Onion. This is not really a State Department briefing, but it was.
Secretary Clinton obviously was the secretary when these 4 were put on administrative leave. When Secretary Kerry came into office here, he basically picked up the ball. It was a continuation of that review that had already been started. He wanted to take the time to get all the facts himself. He wanted to take the time with his senior team to sit down and go over the ARB's findings in great depth and look into the situation of these 4 in their careers.
Just like, and then he wanted to be famous, and his dream came true.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
Stop right there. Stop right there. This is where it gets fun. Listen to her freaking out.
The statement said that he launched this upon assuming office. Now you're telling me there was an ongoing internal review of ARB that Secretary Clinton transferred to him?
I think you're using the term review specifically. What we've been clear... Wait, let me finish.
I'm using your statement.
Okay, can I finish?
Please.
Thank you.
Oh!
Thank you.
Can I finish? Please. Thank you. Oh. I mean, can you believe this is the basically the Foreign Services Department of the United States of America, who are answering
the world's biggest or most powerful country?
What are we?
This going on?
This is sad. At least Russia's got Lavrov. At least the guy looks the part. She's just...
Well, I'm looking at this woman, so I did a little back check, and she actually has been dumbed down. Apparently, some years ago,
with an implanted chip.
She was a ginger.
Oh, no. She was ginger?
Yeah, I got a picture right here.
No.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know this. Let me check. Marie. Oh, this is big news.
Yeah.
So she had no soul. Did they implant a soul?
I think they should work on her voice box.
I think she was more strawberry blonde, to be quite honest. But doesn't she look like...
Not the picture I've got. This is not strawberry blonde. Maybe it is, but depends on your definition.
No. Let's just call her ginger. Screw it. Ginger.
She has... she looks better with the darker hair. She looks kind of like a dingbat with the blonde hair. She just doesn't carry it.
I love the glasses and everything. She's got the
glasses are an attempt to make her look like a smart blonde. If you ever watched the Larry David show, there's actually Buzzkill Jr. and I discussed this commonly because you can actually see it on the media. Larry David has this black sidekick throughout the show, especially the later shows, and he comes up with this thesis that if you're black and you automatically are thought of as an extremely intelligent black person if you wear glasses. And so you'll see this on TV where there'll be some black guy wearing glasses, and you will, and he's actually correct. You up your opinion of the black man wearing glasses.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking that this woman here, Harf, she probably
well, you have if you really see the whole sequence of her coming on stage and everything, walking up to the podium. She's incredibly insecure. She's very worried. So it wouldn't surprise me if these are non-prescription, just hipster glasses.
Hipster glasses.
She should have the one with the mustache attached. That would be even funnier. Oh, let's listen to some more.
I think we made it very clear when these 4 people were put on administrative leave that there was a review process into them that was ongoing.
Just listen how she explains this. It's really quite disturbing.
Obviously, so that process was ongoing before Secretary Kerry got here. That's been well documented publicly. Point B is that when Secretary Kerry took office, he wanted to make sure that he himself and his senior team,
he himself and him and all those people in the senior team,
did a thorough investigation into what had happened, picking up on the work Secretary Clinton had already done, but obviously he would be the one making the decision, so he wanted to make sure he was acquainted with all the facts, and that we looked into all of the things that might go into a decision surrounding these 4.
Okay.
Now she's talking out of the side of her butt. I mean, this is really poor for someone who was a spokesperson for the CIA. She's doing a bad job.
What was the actual scope of this review by Secretary Kerry? Was it just with respect to these 4 individuals, or was he reviewing the entire findings of the ARB?
Again, I think you're using the term review in a way that I'm not using it.
What?
You're using the term review in the way that I'm not using it, which is unfair.
When I say review, he wanted to make sure he was well acquainted with all of the facts. He wanted to dive deeply into all of the issues involved with the ARB, which obviously now fell under his purview to make decisions. So
see, the problem is she messed it up because the ARB stands for Accountability Review Board.
Review Board. But not only that, but her description of what he's doing is a review.
But now listen to what she says about the reason why these people were reinstated.
It's not like he was making a judgment on the ARB. That's not at all what I'm insinuating. That he was himself looking at the ARB, diving into the details, and also gathering other facts that may go into his eventual decision about these 4.
You just stated earlier in response to another question from one of my colleagues that he did engage in, quote, additional fact-finding.
Mm-hmm.
What did that entail? Were documents reviewed? Were new depositions taken? What kind of fact-finding?
All right, what could it be, John? What kind of fact-finding went on here? What kind of extra information do you feel that
he would measure the size of the pages that were printed? He used
close enough. Yeah, close enough.
What mission are we talking about?
Well, I think most specifically what I'm referring to is that he and the team took a look at the totality of the careers that these 4 individuals have had at the State Department. Again, they've served honorably, had a distinguished records, and all of that wanted to be taken into account when, quite frankly, you're making decisions about real people and their careers. He wanted to not only look at the ARB.
These are real people with real careers. We can't just have them like being hurt. Unlike the 4 people who were killed. That is just insane to talk like that.
Well, this will be her last press conference.
Although over on NPR, it was very, very funny as they're trying to talk around. Something happened basically on NPR regarding Chris Stevens, the ambassador of Benghazi, who was slaughtered.
Michael writes, if an openly gay man, Chris Stevens, can be appointed ambassador, and of course he was ambassador to Libya and was tragically killed.
Excuse me, I don't believe he was openly gay.
You just outed the dead man. Seriously? Did you just do that?
I don't know what this is what Michael writes. I didn't write that.
I didn't write that.
The question is, there have been openly gay ambassadors. Let's say that.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So we didn't really say it.
Well, now, we never knew this. This is news to us.
I thought it was quite well known that he was gay. I didn't know that he was not openly gay.
We never brought it up on the show.
Yeah, no, of course we've brought it up on the show.
Well, I don't remember bringing it up on the show because it just seems to me that having a gay ambassador in a Muslim country is a sketchy decision.
Yeah, that's why we brought it up. I know we discussed this.
Well, maybe.
But there's still a difference between being gay and openly gay, and then to be outed on NPR when you're dead.
Openly.
Yeah.
What does openly gay mean?
It means that you've.
Hey, I'm gay. That's what it means.
Yeah, that you're out on Facebook. That you're, that
you're out on Facebook. Right. If it doesn't have anything to do with Facebook,
it's not. It's not open. Then it didn't happen.
Facebook.
You know, is it yesterday or today? I think in Gitmo Lowlands, they did a "To Russia with Love" gay pride protest.
Well, they're not giving up on this thing.
I'm sorry?
They're not giving up on this.
Well, but also it's so wrong, that and all the press they have a concert actually. Now I'm seeing it.
I hope that our CD people that do the No Agenda CD pull that letter that you read from the gay guy trying to prove you were wrong about the analysis of the Russian laws.
Yeah.
Because it's ludicrous that this is continuing. But it is. We're not going to change anything, obviously.
No, but they have entire concerts. The mayor is coming to speak, and it's called "To Russia with Love," and it's protesting the horrible anti-gay laws in Russia, which is just not true. Yeah. And there's also a gala.
There's going to be a gala?
A gala. Yes. A big gala. Nice.
All right. So you humiliated this poor woman, Marie Harf.
Yeah. And who are you going to humiliate today, John? It is Sunday, after all.
On the list for out-and-out humiliation. I do have a couple of... let's see. Let's start with Amy Goodman.
Oh, please, yes. Now, for those of you who are new to the program from other countries, she is a hoity-toity Amy Goodman. She's from Democracy Now! Can do no wrong, because, let's face it, it's Democracy Now!
So she is beside herself with this particular situation. Some joker, one of the producers, put her in. She's interviewing two people about Chelsea. And
Chelsea Manning or Chelsea Clinton?
Chelsea Manning.
Yeah, okay.
And so she's got one of the two is a gay male who's had the sex change, and he's now a female, but he's become a lesbian. And the other one on the other side is a female who has turned into a male, and he seems to be gay.
Okay.
So we have an incredible mixture of just like what is going on sexually with these two, and why me, Amy, why am I having to deal with this? And the funny thing is that she could not shut herself up to just these two people as spokespeople, by the way, were fine. If you just ask them the simple questions, and who cares whether they're male or female, sex change or otherwise, they had good material to present. But no.
But she had to mess it up? She couldn't handle it?
She was so up. She was very upset. She could tell she was uncomfortable, which she shouldn't have been, because both people were very, as
they're professionals. They're professionals. They're there to deliver a message, right?
They got their thing across. But she had to start prying into, well, how did you change? Why did you do that? Why did you have it cut off? Right. And so she did it with both of them. And here's the reason that I noticed it so in this manner is that we have done this show, taking quotes and stuff from her constantly, where she will just essentially parrot a story, not ask a single question that might be in the minds of the viewers.
Right.
Now, she did leave out the question, which was in my mind when she started prying about, what sexual orientation do these people have besides what gender do they have? Because there's a difference between gender and sexual orientation. So if you're a guy and you feel you should be a woman, but you should be a lesbian, there's a big difference than a guy who should be a woman and,
right.
It's normal. Right. I don't know that this woman's a lesbian, but she sure seems like it to me. Mm-hmm. The guy that became the woman. So let's go through. Can I
just say something? You have now thoroughly confused me.
I think I was meant. That was what I was doing. I was meant to confuse you.
All right. Well, success.
Let's start with Amy Goodman, awkward chat with Lauren. The woman's name is Lauren.
Let's begin with Lauren. So you have known Chelsea when she was Bradley. Talk about how you first got in touch, Lauren, and the relationship that you had online.
Well, she first got in touch with me in February of 2009 after viewing my videos on YouTube. She contacted me first, and we spoke over AOL Instant Messenger for a period of several months. She was mostly interested in my videos about politics, religion, LGBT issues, and she felt we shared a similar mindset on these issues. And so we spoke at length about that. She opened up to me about her history, her dealings with her family, her troubles in school, and her decision to join the military and her role as an intelligence analyst. And we spoke at length about that job and how she enjoyed it and how it was working out for her.
Lauren McNamara, I wanted to turn to excerpts from instant messenger chats between you and Manning from 2009. At the time, you used the internet handle ZJ, while Manning went by Bradass87. Manning writes, I'm politically active, even more so after enlisting. Living under Don't Ask, Don't Tell will certainly do that. You reply, yeah, I can't say I'd ever enlist for that reason in particular elsewhere. Manning writes, being around my platoon for...
Okay. Well,
it's just like, it goes back and forth. It doesn't get any further. No. But by the way, Lauren's videos are, you have to, it's one of those that, I might, about once, people don't know this, but about once every couple of weeks, I find one of these, there's all these women on the internet that make these cheesy videos.
And John sends them to me.
I send them to him saying, there's talent, we're missing out. So it's always done with the cheap webcam and the person. Everyone's seen these things. You got your face into the camera, and you're yakking about stuff. It's a one-man show. And you just yak things. And this is what the kind of video this woman did. She was one of those talking heads that would put in a grim. It's always in a grim room, and it's always slightly out of focus. They're horrible, these videos. So anyway, Amy can't take it anymore. So now we have the Amy Asks transition question to try to get some information from her.
Can you talk about your own story, Lauren, how you made the transition?
Yes. I started transitioning, at least in 2011 or so.
Who cares?
Okay, so she that's exactly right. This story is about Bradley Manning. So now, because it's a liberal show, they feel obliged to have these people. It's like, you shouldn't. What do you have the guest on if you're going to have them explain them? So she's apparently now has standing to talk about
the only reason I can think, John, is because it is meant to distract from what really is going on. Who cares?
I agree with you.
I'm not interested in that. This is the whole thing. We don't even know if Bradley Manning actually said this.
We have no idea. He's incarcerated.
Incarcerated.
He's incarcerated.
He's in
so
now he's in the shoe.
Now Amy switches over to talk to this guy, Chase. This guy's name is Chase Strangeo, like Strange O.
Okay.
Strange O.
All right.
So to play the Chase Strangeo clip and get it. This guy's got lots of interesting information. I had no idea.
Chase Strangeo, you're a staff attorney with the ACLU. Can you talk about what Chelsea will now face? I mean, this very serious issue. Fort Leavenworth is a prison for men.
Yeah, and I think what we learned yesterday from Chelsea was a few very important things. She has asked that she be referred to as Chelsea, that we use female pronouns when referring to her, and she has stated publicly that as part of her treatment for her diagnosed gender dysphoria, she will be seeking hormone therapy. And that's what we heard from her yesterday. The Army responded with a statement that they absolutely do not provide hormone therapy or sex reassignment surgeries related to gender.
Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this?
I think they feel obliged to do it because
we don't understand how it works.
Anytime there's gender issues, the liberals they get all worked up about it.
You know what I do?
We're going to skip the rest of that. I want you to play.
Can I just say something? If I was the producer of this segment with Chase Strangeo, I'd be like, hey, could you come over? After we're done, could you do a couple jingles for my podcast? You got a very interesting voice.
He's got a very interesting voice.
I like it.
So now so Amy asks Chase about the term because she wants to know what the hell he's talking about.
Explain what you mean by gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria is a recognized mental health condition and a serious medical condition. It is in the DSM-5. It was previously known as gender identity disorder, or GID.
I can't get recognition for by curiosity, and we have gender dysphoria?
Which is what the Army referred to it as yesterday. It is a condition that has clear set of treatment protocols, including hormone therapy and surgery related to transition in some cases. These are not experimental treatments. These are not new treatments. These are vital, life-saving treatments for transgender individuals.
You know, this is all. It is fascinating stuff, and it's very interesting. In a different context, we have a guy who was sent to jail for 35 years for essentially turning us on to the fact that we have a military-industrial complex that's screwing us and is killing people and laughing about it. And the whole thing is just insane, and the State Department is insane, and the whole mechanism is out of its mind, and this guy's been thrown in the shoe, and somehow we cover this up by bringing this up, and Amy Goodman and Democracy Now! And the Public Broadcasting Service's television outfit is complicit in this. This is an outrage.
Exactly. And so what does Amy do to get to the bottom of everything? She asks Strangeo for his story.
Can you tell us your story?
No!
You're transitioning from woman to man.
Why?
This is really
why. Okay. Who cares?
Let me transition myself here for a second, because this is what we're seeing here is people who are and Amy Goodman's an Obama bot, no doubt about it. Now, there's the difference between being a Democrat or a Republican versus, a crazy black person hating KKK hood wearing redneck and an Obama bot. It's all kind of the same, different sides of the same coin. And Amy Goodman is an Obama bot. And then we have, this is, what's her name on Eleanor. Eleanor on the McLaughlin Group.
Oh, Eleanor. She's a total Obama bot. She's ridiculous.
Right. So she's an Obama bot. And, of course, the whole Snowden thing and the NSA spying comes up. And if you want to hear, and this is how you can recognize your friends and family by their Obama botness on the Obama bot scale, listen to this answer.
I don't think President Obama wanted to be the Democratic president that expanded the national security state. And the various disclosures that have come out since he made those initial statements in June saying he was okay with the balance have indicated that the spying, if you will, on Americans is more widespread than we all initially thought. And so I think he's open to reining this in. Those are all reasonable steps you outlined. I imagine, Congress is looking at a way, but I still think he's not going to back away from basically continuing the programs that his predecessor put in place because of the times we live in and that national security brief he gets every morning.
Still able to slip in it was the previous guy who did it.
Oh, yeah.
And then
good work.
Now, to be fair on the show, there's also the complete Republibot, Romney bot, maybe we'll call him, Mort Zuckerman, and he brings back our old 54 me. It used to be 50, then it was 52, now it's 54, I think.
Yeah, 54 is right. It's settled in at 54.
Settled in at 54.
Between privacy and security has been struck?
Yes, I certainly do. I actually happen to be in favor of this kind of a program because I think of what would happen to this country if we had a half a dozen terrorist attacks every year. And that seems
every
to me
year.
to be the
Obama knew all the details of what they do?
By and large, yes. I think, well, maybe not everything, okay, but I think he knew, based on the reports that he must have been getting, just exactly the number of cases.
So, John.
Just a minute. They estimated that something like 54 different terrorist attacks were in fact interdicted by the knowledge that they gained from this. He had to be informed on all of that.
Now, can we just explain, John, about these 54 terrorist attacks?
We have two or three. We have two examples actually explained in Congress that these are all bogus. They tend to the only ones that really took place in this country either set up by the FBI or one of them was they caught some guy trying to send some money overseas. There was no plot to do terrorism, and this was discussed openly in hearings in Congress. So we have the clips, and even before that, we had a briefing clip of a briefing that was done before the Senate and congressional aides to get them to tell their bosses about certain things that was like deep background. And the guy went over the 54, and they were all bogus. There are no 54. Exactly. This is nonsense.
So that he goes on and propagates that meme for a little bit, and then just one final little thing, and this is Eleanor is yelling in this clip. Listen to what she's yelling.
The young people and other people, all of a sudden, it looked like almost a majority are saying, hey, the government's gone too far, and Barack Obama's politically inclined, so he's moving and moving and moving. He's been moving away from it. He's going to keep the basic program, as Eleanor said.
Maybe he didn't want to know about it.
He's a constitutional
lawyer.
He's a constitutional lawyer.
All right. Now, I looked this up. What is a constitutional lawyer? A constitutional lawyer, which I think the president is not, because a constitutional lawyer is an attorney who tries cases. Do we have any case on record that he has tried?
I don't think so.
A constitutional lawyer is an attorney who tries cases where constitutional issues are at stake. The Constitution is considered the supreme law of the United States, a form of federal law. Thus, most cases based on constitutional questions are tried in the federal court system. I don't think he... Well, actually, I have another link here.
He taught constitutional law, supposedly. He may have been a teaching assistant. We really never got this straight.
But this whole idea... Look, I'm a constitutional lawyer.
By those standards, yes.
Yes. Well, here it is. How to become a constitutional lawyer. Step 1. Earn a bachelor's degree in history. Oh, well, okay. I guess I'm not. Political science or any major involving research and analytical thinking. Well, an undergraduate degree is required for admission to law school. Oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Enroll in law school. Law school is a rigorous 3-year program where you learn about constitutional law, contract law, property law, blah, blah, blah. Step 3, apply for constitutional law internships. I can get an internship on this show.
Yeah.
After your 2nd year of law, constitutional law internships are quite competitive, so make sure you keep a high grade point average. That's right. I won't hire myself otherwise. Work hard developing your personal and professional networks. Take and pass the bar exam in your state. That's the tricky one. But, this whole, he's a constitutional lawyer.
He's not even a member of the bar anymore, so he's not even if he was. No, him and Michelle both have been kicked out.
No, I don't know if they're kicked out. That's one way.
Well, they didn't renew.
They didn't renew. Yet, is that really, you have to renew your
You have to,
status?
there's some process. They don't confer upon you the ability to practice law in some state, and then you could just never... Then move to France and then come back 50 years later and try a case.
Because, if you get your pilot's license, it's good.
Good forever?
Yeah. Now, you may not be current, so you won't get insured unless you do a check ride, but that's, you just fly.
As far as I know, neither one of them are lawyers anymore. He's not a lawyer anymore. He's the president. But he's not a lawyer anymore, so he's not a constitutional lawyer.
But it also makes me angry because it's the constitutional lawyer. Who is? I
think you got her voice down. I didn't realize that she sounded like an old
constitutional lawyer
from Long Island.
Yeah, he's the one that keeps saying that protecting the American people is his priority number 1, which is not true. Oh,
so I found out there's been this little feud. Now this is should almost go under real news. Not quite, but
well, do you want it or not?
Yeah, I hit it anyway, just for the purpose. We haven't heard it for a while.
And now, back to real news.
Nice.
So, Don Lemon has been getting into a beef with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons is the black guy who's responsible for
Russell Simmons was he was part of Run DMC, was he not? Was he not he is the
he is the number
mogul.
He's the hip hop rapper king.
Yeah,
and he's mostly a style. He creates styles that the blacks. Let's wear that, and whatever.
Well, he sells debit cards to people, and I think he has perfume.
He's a money machine.
Yeah.
So he got into a beef with Lemon, who called him out for this stupid the sagging pants thing. And so what happened was Lemon...
Really, what are we doing here? This better be really relevant.
No, the only reason I'm playing this clip because there's a piece of information in this clip that I never knew. And I said, that's interesting. That's all you're going to come away with is, That's interesting. I didn't know that. But I'm going to give the background on it anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So what triggered this whole thing was Lemon did one of these op-eds on the air on the weekends, playing a clip from Bill O'Reilly and saying O'Reilly's right about this. And it was some critique of the black community, which he, didn't have standing to do, but Lemon gave him standing. But it was like Simmons got all bent out of shape about it, saying the guy's a sellout, and he's letting the right wingers push him around, and it goes on and on. So Lemon comes up with this little ditty, which I thought is interesting because I think it's a pretty good slam, and there's 2 or 3 pieces of information I never actually knew.
You also wrote, young people sagging their pants today is no different than young people rocking afros, dashikis, or platform shoes in the 60s and 70s. Russell, afros came out of the struggle, the African-American civil rights movement, and are a symbol of the appreciation of black beauty and the black aesthetic. Really? The dashiki is a traditional form of West African dress which symbolizes African pride. Sagging, by the way, Russell, the hip-hop community of which you helped establish, dropped the G on the word so that, spelled backwards, the word reads Niggas. It came from Rikers Island in New York, one of the largest detention centers in the U.S. It was originally called Wearing Your Pants Rikers Style. When you went in, you turned in your belt, your shoelaces, and the only shirt the jail provided was a white XXL T-shirt. Are you equating dressing like a criminal to African pride? Or are you saying it's okay to perpetuate the negative stereotype of young black men as convicts, criminals, prisoners? How does that enhance their lives or society as a whole?
Nah, okay. I'm still going to, for this is a very political, it's funny to hear this political correctness coming out of Don Lemon.
Yeah, it was great.
Because Elvis Presley, of course, was part of the movement that propagated jail in general wearing blue jeans. Blue jeans was only for prisoners. So you can, and E-boots. And you can keep on going with this. Is wow. Hey, what's the guy, Zucker? Who's the guy who's running CNN?
Zuck.
Good job, dude.
Zucker, yeah.
Good job. Wow. Yeah. That's
at least he's getting some attention.
Well, meanwhile, over on the what's that? Larry King has his talk show on this new network.
It's not a talk show. It's a advertorial, isn't it? It's just a bunch of advertising stuff.
No, he had Ellsberg on.
Well, why don't they put King back on CNN? He's much better than Piers Morgan, even if he was 90.
I don't know. I don't care, actually, because I found Larry King, and he's talking to Ellsberg. And Ellsberg made me do something which I typically don't do, and I'll tell you in a minute.
Well, I think there's no better way.
So you don't know, Ellsberg is, of course, the guy who's credited...
Daniel Ellsberg, the Pentagon Papers.
Yeah, and the Pentagon Papers were, compared to this, really not even that fantastic. It showed that the government lied, like Lyndon Johnson had already positioned troops, a week before he said that he discussed it. And, these are all minor things compared to the lies and deceit that the past 4 presidents in my lifetime have committed. So it's really, really minor. And then he gave it to the New York Times, and it was basically an internal review. So it wasn't really, he just took some papers that already existed that said,
that he's largely responsible for writing.
Yeah, well, did he? I'm not so sure he was the lead on that.
Oh, he's one of them,
right? But it was
whatever the case.
It was a report. It was a report that was written inside the Pentagon, and so that got leaked, and nothing really happened except I guess that was the chink in the armor. But anyway, so he's heralded as as a hero, which I think that Bradley Manning could be one, and if he's real, and if Snowden is real, then because they're exposing lies and deceit. And so here he is telling us where to find out more about what's really going on.
For Americans to have a real sense of where we've arrived, than to do what I did a few weeks ago, which was to re-rent the movie Enemy of the State from 1998.
I'm in that movie.
And you'll remember that, Mary, because you're in it. Playing yourself.
On the end of the movie.
That's right. In the very end of the movie, after
I banged 5 actresses.
during which an innocent person, Will Smith, has been pursued by all the technical surveillance capability of the NSA, which, by the way...
Now, this is interesting. Two things. One, Agent Orange and several other handlers of mine have suggested exactly this. If you, and this is, this movie is 15 years old. Like, oh, you got to watch that movie again, because then kind of what's really going on, what is really happening, and what is possible. And do you know that this movie is not available on Netflix, nor is it available on Amazon for rent, a streaming? You have to physically buy a copy.
I did not know that.
And you know who directed this movie?
Well, as a matter of fact...
Tony Scott, who committed suicide just a year or so ago.
Right.
Remember that was really weird, and he jumped off the bridge, and they said he had brain cancer, but his family was like, no, he didn't have any cancer.
Huh.
Now, I got nowhere to go down that rabbit hole, but it is kind of coincidental.
Yeah, interesting coincidence.
So now here's Ellsberg talking about the movie and how that relates to our life today.
A little ahead of its time, but which it definitely has it now. It's a very realistic movie right now. I'd like to see it reissued and have every American see it. But after he's been pursued by all this innocently, by some actual rogue NSA, National Security Agency factions, at the end they have you on the screen saying, asking the question, where do you draw the line between the gathering of intelligence that the government has to have and the protection of civil liberties, particularly the sanctity of the home? And you end with a kind of heartfelt cry, you have no right to enter my home, come into my home, right? But as you know, I'm sure, they're in your home right now, Larry, and mine. If you have an iPhone in your pocket, I don't know if you have it right now in your kitchen or your bedroom, or you're charging in the bedroom at night, as I do, the NSA, the National Security Agency, can record and store all of your conversation, any of your, more generally, if you have a computer in your home, your tweets, your email, your purchases over online, your Google searches, all of that, including your iPhone or smartphone as a GPS, all of your movements is all on record to be retrieved at will. When the president says we don't listen to your calls, he sort of has his fingers crossed. It's true they don't listen in real time. That would take half the population of the United States listening in to every two people who are online together. What they do is TiVo it. They have it on file, and they have your entire digital record at any time. Now that's the infrastructure of a police state. We don't have a police state, or you and I wouldn't be talking to you right now. But they could turn this into a police state overnight.
I really like what he said there. I think that was...
Yeah, well, it's not... He didn't say anything that we haven't said on this show.
No, of course. In fact, this is exactly... When this started... We and I think you were the one that had the whole analysis about how they're just recording everything. By the way, Larry King was confused. He was not in Enemy of the State. He was in Enema of the State, which was a porn that he just didn't know. He was confused about that. That was bad.
Yeah, that was really bad.
I could have done better.
In fact, I'll give you this.
And here's Ellsberg wrapping it up.
What it does do is to put into the hands of the executive branch the ability to blackmail every person in the country and turn them into informants, as was done by the Stasi in East Germany.
And that's the lesson. So I've torrented this movie. Of course, I'm going to watch it again because if I recall correctly, it pretty much predicts the whole Snowden affair. It is art imitating life in advance. Or life imitating art, or art imitating life. God knows. It's exactly what's happening now.
Well, I'll tell you, if we're going to go to the... we had that guy Rappaport last show. I do have a clip that was one of the clips that was involved in the in that back and forth between him and this podcast. But just as a backgrounder, play this little clip, and then I want to mention something. NSA gets more money. Play that.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with this. I like it.
In April, as part of its 2014 budget request, the Pentagon, which rules the NSA, asked Congress for $4.7 billion for increased cyberspace operations, nearly $1 billion more than the 2013 allocation. At the same time, budgets for the CIA and other intelligence agencies were cut.
Right. This is the crux of the problem.
This is the crux of the problem. And let's say that the NSA has been really doing a good job because they Cell. Oh, we don't need all these field people. We don't need, the NSA is the one who caused 9/11. If you're going to boil it down, because if you remember, right after 9/11, all these guys, all these second guessers, all these armchair quarterbacks were going on. Oh, the CIA hasn't even got anyone who speaks Arabic. They haven't got any translators. They haven't got anybody in the field. They haven't had an agent in Syria or Iraq or any place.
Can I interject just this 30 seconds then? Well, because you bring this up. Here's Robert Mueller, who's doing exit interviews now apparently with CNN, specifically about this topic.
If we had the kind of intelligence that we were collecting through the NSA before September 11th, the kind of intelligence collection that we have now, do you think 9/11 would have been prevented?
I think there's a good chance that we would have prevented at least a part of 9/11. In other words, there were 4 planes or almost 19 persons involved, but I think we would have a much better chance of identifying those individuals who were contemplating that attack.
By this mass collection of information?
By the various programs that have been put in place since then.
Do you?
There you go.
So they've rewritten history on this, because I distinctly remember all the discussions that were going on, and most of it was critical of the CIA, not the NSA. And the NSA was collecting all that stuff back then. They've been doing it since they got formed.
This is also the FBI guy talking, so
the
take that with a
FBI seems to be in bed with the NSA.
Yep.
As opposed to the CIA, which in fact, because we talked about this before, where MI5 and MI6 are closely interlinked, the FBI and the CIA have always had a wall between the two. You don't have guys going back and forth,
right.
But there's never been a wall between the FBI and the NSA, and so they're working together, and so you have the spokeshole, essentially, for the NSA here. So what's going on, and here's what's interesting, is that this movie that we're talking about was done in 1998. I would suspect that the situation where the CIA keeps getting less money, less resources, is marginalized by the guys who are cooler. Let's just face it. In terms of high tech and all the rest,
they have 3 challenge coins.
They got a bunch of challenge coins. They got cool chat. Well, CIA's got a bunch too, but they got cool chat. But they got the computers and they got the Fort
data
Meade
centers.
This huge thing in Utah that is just ludicrously monstrous. We can collect everything, and they're creating
and they have the goods on everybody.
They're the blackmailers.
Yeah,
and so the CIA, meanwhile, I believe may have been behind the movie Enemy of the State. Did no good whatsoever to help their cause to get some more cash in their coffers. So that's why they have to do the Poppy Fields thing, which is another movie.
So they are the Silk Road, is what you're telling me.
They're saying, we need the money, and so they're. We've talked about this before. There's lots of evidence that the CIA is involved with the poppy growing into the Afghanistan area. But it's like it's basically bottom line income that they need, because they're getting screwed by these NSA guys, and they can't seem to do anything about it. And if you want to take Tony Scott for an example, it would be the NSA who killed him.
Right.
Just to show the CIA that they can do that kind of thing too.
Exactly.
And so this showdown between these two agencies is really
serious.
Fun to watch.
It is. I have to say, I just like everyone to wear little flags so we don't have to guess each time. Who are you, NSA or CIA? Just like do Bloods and Crips, like where
Bloods and Crips, exactly. One's red and one's blue. So this is, I think that's true, but it's funny. I forgot that. I always thought the Enemy of the State was about a CIA deal, but you're right.
No, it's NSA.
And it's specifically NSA.
And it's not on iTunes. It's not on Netflix. This is 1998.
And it was a hit movie.
Huge movie. Why is it not available? Is it an embarrassment? Is there a reason? I mean, yeah, it just seems like that. And by the way, it came down pretty fast. There was a lot of people seeding this movie.
Oh, you mean you just did it?
No, I did. Well, I did it last night, and I started watching it, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, because just that whole opening scene where they shoot the guy in the neck with the syringe, and then let his Mercedes roll back into the water, and the dog's barking. They make it look like he's suicided. I was like, oh, now I remember this movie. I'm still going to watch the whole thing again, because there's going to be lots of nuances, I think, that I can pick up that maybe I didn't see before. And that's when I was like, oh, wait a minute, and Tony Scott, wasn't it like a year ago, or maybe was it 2 years ago? When did he commit suicide?
It was less, I think it was within the last year.
And it was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah, it was offbeat. Yeah, it didn't make sense. Meanwhile, David Marconi...
It was a year ago, 19th of August, 2012.
Well, there you go. It's exactly a year ago. Coincidence. David Marconi, the writer of the story, Enemy of the State.
I think not.
Yeah.
The writer of Enemy of the State really didn't work again for 12 more years when he did...
Really?
Yeah. He did he did the story for Live Free or Die Hard, which was another computer-oriented NSA kind of story, and only got a job as a screenwriter in 2010. So that's 12 years, and there's some crap. He's like basically... He had like a bunch of good movies. Rumblefish, The Outsiders, G.I. Joe, which was not great, but it was a moneymaker. The Harvest, Enemy of the State, and then nothing. I mean, why is that?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, well, this is going to be interesting to see because it's spy versus spy, but the NSA's got the money. They got the blackmail angle. They're spying on the U.S. public so they can get their way.
Not only that, I mean, now that this comes out.
Now eavesdropping on love interest has its own spy label. According to the Wall Street Journal, several officers with the NSA have used the agency's sweeping surveillance capabilities to spy on love interests. It's dubbed Love Int, as in love intelligence. Now, the report says the violations involved overseas communications, usually on a partner or a spouse.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Dianne Feinstein admitted this. She says that once a year she gets a report, which means that it's real easy for them to do. It's easy. It's just a matter of pressing a button.
Yeah, no, there's a form. You fill out the form. As long as you have
form. It's not a paper form. They just
it's a form on the computer. You go on the computer, you type in a bunch of shit, and you get a report.
It's a form. Really, it's a form. Is it like?
There was a whole scandal about it. It's one of the Snowden slideshows. It was showing the slideshow showed how to fill out the form.
The Lotus Notes form.
No, it's just a form. And then you just need the person's name and either the phone number.
Good to go. And then you're good to go.
You just do a name and phone number. You got everything you want.
I love it. Good to go.
And again, they've been essentially it's against the law what they're doing. That's the whole point of it. Nobody wants to.
Well, that is so. But the
blackmail's against the law too.
Yeah, but the talking point has changed, and I have and this will wrap it up for me. So here's Mueller again on his exit interview,
and they're tailored to do that.
We've given up some civil liberties, though.
Well, so it's gone from constitutional rights to civil liberties. This is a very egregious change in the fact. It is a constitutional right that we have to not be searched and our stuff not be searched. Although we give a lot of that up when we use Gmail and Google stuff, and that's your own damn fault.
It's in the terms of service.
It's in the terms of service. But there is a lot of stuff that is completely against your constitutional right, which is now being called civil liberties.
I would query about what you mean in terms of civil liberties and what we have given up. Yes, do we exchange information in ways we did not before? Absolutely. You can say that is to the extent that you exchange information between CIA, FBI, NSA, and the like, you could characterize that as somehow giving up liberties, but the fact of the matter is it's understandable and absolutely necessary if you want to protect the security of the United States.
That's right. Absolutely understandable. That's how it works. It's just understandable. We get it. You want to protect the United States. And then the president in his everyone's on CNN these days. I guess they just gave up. It's like, we got no ratings, so let's just take the money from those guys. And, of course, everyone's been on the take. Now we know that Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, I don't know if Apple, but I wouldn't put it past them. They've all just essentially been taking money per customer that they sell out. They've taken millions of dollars. Facebook taken millions of dollars to change the system so that they can be accessed or they can deliver whatever needs to be delivered. And there's a per user fee per request. It's good money. Good money. And here's the president.
Mistakes are made. Well, shakes your confidence.
Yeah, but I think it's important. For example, this latest revelation that was made. What was learned was that NSA had inadvertently, accidentally pulled the emails of some Americans in violation of
the Constitution of the United States?
Their own rules.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Their own rules.
Because of...
He's a constitutional lawyer!
Technical problems that they didn't realize. They presented
technical problems they didn't realize.
Those problems to the court. The court said, this isn't going to cut it. You're going to have to improve the safeguards given these technical problems.
That's not exactly what the brief said from the court, even although heavily redacted. The court kind of said it's constitutionally unjust and illegal, not just this ain't going to cut it.
That's exactly what happened. So the point is that all these safeguards, checks, audits, oversight worked.
It worked.
What I recognize is that we're going to have to continue to improve the safeguards. And as technology moves forward, that means that we may be able to build technologies that give people more assurance.
What do you think that means? I think it means ID cards or something. If we're going to, as technology improves, we'll be able to give people safeguards. It gives them. Let me just listen to that again.
What I recognize is that we're going to have to continue to improve the safeguards.
Safeguards.
Improve the safeguards. I think you're right. Here's the reason, because if you looked at those PowerPoints about how you use the system to get information, it's, if you use just name and phone number, if people change their phone numbers a lot, if you had an ID card besides the Social Security number, which should do the trick, it seems to me.
Yeah.
But a Social Security number that's on some other form of ID, so it's I don't know. They got to have something to make it easier. So if I want to, because here's the problem, there's too many Adam Currys out there.
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's some kid playing football at high school somewhere named Adam Curry.
There's thousands of Adam Currys, and it's like, and you've moved around enough that if somebody plugged in one of your old numbers, it's probably owned by somebody.
On my credit report, there's still some guy in Florida, Adam Curry, who sucks, and I can't get it off. I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, well, this problem, and these are data collection companies that are only focused on one simple thing, and they can't do it right. The NSA is trying to record all your conversations, grab every chat you've ever done, grab all your Facebook data, all your phone calls, and bury them in some file off of whatever number it is. This has got to be a nightmare for retrieval. I mean, yeah, you could probably do a job in figuring out this guy's having an affair with somebody, and you can bust him. But generally speaking, I think that they need to simplify the overall system so as for data processing purposes, so that people can have – so in other words, you won't be Adam Curry someday in the future. This isn't tomorrow, but this would be in the Red Book and someday in the future. You'd be Adam Curry 1773.
1999.
Like the Gmail accounts. No, Dvorak is already taken. You can use Dvorak 242.
We're so sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Curry. You can't name your kid Charlene. She'll have to be Charlene 7952 Curry. Thank you. Resume normal activity.
And since people are making up names anyway like crazy, it's like I can see, first you got to scare the public to death. You can make the argument that, we're all going to die because we don't know who anybody is because there's no positive ID. Look at this Adam Curry. He's not the same as this Adam Curry. This is confusing. This is no good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good science fiction story.
John, let me ask you this. Do you see an end to this? Do you see a simple way that this can just end? I mean, is there anything that can happen that can just end all of this, that can just make it go away?
Well, it'd have to be a combination of things. One, you have to have economic collapse.
Okay.
So that puts pressure on the budgets. And then when things started falling apart and then people were getting bitter because there was, you start laying off people at the NSA, you're going to have some shit coming out because these guys are going to, well, that's not right. Why am I getting laid off? I'm the best IT guy here in this department. What is this kid? You're only hiring him because you get him to work cheaper. And he comes out. I mean, they'll find something that's really scandalous.
Right.
And then they'll have to do a reevaluation. I mean, it's not going to really end because we've been a security state since 1947. It's just becoming more obvious. But they could back off a little.
Is that the only way it could go? There's nothing else that could happen?
Nothing else could happen.
Okay, all right.
Unless you could have a revolution, but this public is so pacified by the Kim Kardashian phenomenon and things like that. Never happen.
Hey, you know what?
They'll eat beans from a can and mac and cheese before they do anything.
Kim Kardashian is going to eat her placenta. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is what the slaves are watching on TV.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to show my
bad.
support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, oh No Agenda. In the morning.
I'm not kidding. That's the promo. It has been running all weekend.
Is it going to be live on TV?
I hope so.
Oh God.
I hope so.
See, this is the problem. This tells you where we're headed as a country, as a culture. Meanwhile, we have people helping us out. Dennis Del Pra in Waterton, Colorado, $111.11, and he does have a note. Again, it's in the pile. I should take the notes I've read and put them over here.
Now, he's lucky because we don't always read notes from people who are not executive producers.
Right, but when they send them in the mail.
No, okay. So if it's longhand.
Well, this is typed. It actually looks like it was typed by an IBM executive.
Oh, an executive.
No, an executive. Because it's got the proportional spacing. I'm guessing it might be. I've been fretting for some time I should show my support in more direct ways, but always seem to lose the sense of urgency after a show episode. However, something John said today was all the catalyst I needed to stop being a douchebag and send a check. John mentioned that the reason donations were down recently could be related to the fact that this is peak vacation time. For example, all of France has gone on holiday. Holy crap, I thought. If I don't donate now, people might think I'm French.
Yes. If you're not donating, you are suspiciously French.
So that was Dennis.
I like that.
Definitely a letter worth reading.
That's funny.
So that's $111.11. Mac Tank in La Jolla, California, $100. Show's been awesome lately. Keep it up.
Thank you.
By Stephen Powers in Midlothian, Virginia, $100. Arthur Gobitz in Zandam.
Zandam. Yeah.
He says he doesn't need a de-douching yet. Lon Baker, $100, Emeryville, California. I can wave and see. He can wave back. Matthew Zasfir in Williston, Vermont, $99.99. David Roberts, $88.88, Norristown, Pennsylvania. Mark Milliman, $88.88 in Longmont, California. Mark did send an interesting note. He's also wrote. This is a check that came in. I was able to receive decent severance from my last company, so I can contribute a little job karma. I don't want anything else. We're going to do all the job karma at the end. He's just getting by. He's lost his work and he's sending us money. And then he sent in, I don't know what this is, but it is a bunch of codes. And it says promo codes iOS, and it's a No Agenda Karma generator.
Oh, that's isn't that what?
That's from Ron Boyd. That's from Boyd.
Right. Oh, so we can get
what
it
for
for free.
About?
Well, then you can use your iPhone, and then you can get the app for free. Just send it to me so I can.
I'll scan it and send it to you.
Yeah.
So it's
you could also just type the numbers, but yeah,
No.
Go ahead, scan it. Scan it.
Too much. There's too many letters. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
Scan it and then tie
5 free codes.
Tie it to a pigeon.
Fly, bird, fly. Ryan Merritt, 8419 in Hoboken, New Jersey. Peter Tangstrom in Amsterdam, $77.
He says, slave scanner at Premium Entrance Schiphol also avoided with the can't lift my arms trick. Thanks, by the way. Do you have the Wi-Fi producer's password for Schiphol? Yeah, send me an email. We don't give that out on the air. Send it to me. I'll tell you how you can get on.
It wouldn't be good.
Nope.
Because then it gets passed around everywhere.
Yeah, then everyone's using it.
Yeah, and they didn't ever donate or contribute or even listen to the show.
Exactly.
Fabian Meyer in Zurich, Switzerland.
Zurich.
70. Brian.
69, dudes!
Okay, well, you got a bunch this time. Brian Barrow, Wooten Bassett, my favorite place in the UK. James Murray in Houston, Texas, also known as Houston in New York City. Ryan Showalter, Fresno, California. Vytautas Sadauskas.
What?
Vytautas Sadauskas in Vilnius in Lithuania.
Oh, by the way, Ryan is Sir Thomas of the Apocalypse?
Is he?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading in the note.
Please give a shout out to My Pile. These guys are making a modern open source.
Mailpile. Yeah, and I've looked at Mailpile.
Mailpile. Oh, my God.
They've. I think they've got. They're doing a Kickstarter. Maybe it's interesting.
They're out of Reykjavik.
Yeah,
That's pretty safe.
They're in the right place to do that. Mailpile.org, I think. Actually, yeah.
Okay, we'll look into that. Sir Thomas of the Apocalypse. Vilnius, Lithuania. We got a Lithuanian. This is great. Sam Menner in Box Hill, Victoria, Australia. John Evdeman in Sammamish, Washington. Aaron Yoho in Fairmont, West Virginia. Raymond Vesseler in Arlington, Washington.
And that's it. That's it.
69, dudes.
Now we have a whole bunch of 6th anniversary. Wow, this is nice. People are already getting in early.
We got a lot of 66.66s
that's
to
nice.
help us celebrate our anniversary.
To help us on our journey to hell.
Ross Thomas, North Perth, Western Australia. Brian Curry, your old buddy from Canal, British Columbia.
You can contact him, Brian@curry.com. I set it up for him.
Ralph Massaro in Kirkland, Washington. Black Baronet Sir Alan Bowes in Langley, British Columbia. Thomas Nussbaum in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Sir Bean in Thousand Oaks, California. Scott Amato in Davie, Florida. Robert Dimoff in London, the UK. Sloan, and by the way, he mentioned something. We did get some of these letters. One guy said, I never had a problem getting the newsletter because you're in my address book. Now, I don't know that actually works because I don't know of any spam filtering system that's that smart.
No, I think Yahoo Mail might work that way, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Sloan Kelly in Niagara Falls, Slowly I Turned, Ontario, Canada. Matthew John Carey in Eastwood, South Australia. Francine Hardaway, she's actually
Baroness
Francine, and she's irked that we're not giving her the credit she is due as Baroness.
Yeah, well, that's an outrage.
It is an outrage. She needs to be Baroness.
And next time I'll probably see her at South by Southwest, and I shall carry her around town on my shoulders.
She shows up for that?
Oh yeah, she's way into technology. She's like an angel investor. She has Google Glass.
Oh, that should be a disqualification for Baroness.
Well, I'm still waiting for the nude selfies, but she hasn't done that yet. I'm waiting for it.
She's in Half Moon Bay.
There you go.
Which is a strange place.
That's where Robert Scoble lives.
Could be.
And have we ever seen Francine Hardaway, Baroness Francine, and Robert Scoble in the same picture?
No, it's just a shocker.
But they do share the Google Glass. Same person?
Matt Litsky in Tinley Park, Illinois. Road Wolf in North Tonawanda. Cole Callistra in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Sir Kevin Webb in Carrollton, Texas. Sir Sam Lung in Toronto, Ontario. Matthew Januszewski, parts unknown. Jason Doolin, Lost Wages, Nevada. Doug Dodge, Oxnard, California. And finally, Eric Fredericks in Denver. And James Raquel in Waterloo, Ontario. And finally, last but not least, David Carey, who I believe is a sir, in Winter Garden, Florida. We got to get these sirs worked out here. Finally, we got, and that's the end of our 66-66ers. James Wolgamuth in Everett, Washington. Sam Menner, that's 5650. Sam Menner, double nickels on the dime, keeping that alive, which is
appreciated
because it's numerous. Box Hill, South Victoria. And whoops. Hold on a second. Stacy, I used to know how to pronounce
Prue.
Yeah, just Prue. Stacy Prue.
Hey,
she's up the street from you in Austin.
Send me a picture, Stacy.
Yeah, that way you can spot you at the farmer's market.
Exactly.
Thomas Wolforth in Asheville, North Carolina, $50. And he he needs a de-douching. Let's just throw that in there.
Okay, sure.
You've been de-douched.
Macy Stolowoski in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Sang Ho G in Parts Unknown. And I do have a note from him, which is written in longhand. He sent it in. This is another check, but he's the guy. If you remember, he's getting special consideration here because he's the one who wrote his first check ever.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I think he also sent me an email, actually.
In the morning, Don and Adam. First, my name is pronounced. Yes. Okay, we got that. Can't commit to a night layaway plan. I hope to become a knight by my high school graduation.
Wow.
So he sent us $50. So he's in high school and started listening to the best podcast in the universe after John's sees about Adam's theory regarding Adobe. And I haven't stopped listening. Not donating in a month makes me a douchebag build up in my body. So just give me a de-douching and for relationships, friends making karma for the school year, since I have a strange feeling that not everyone will appreciate my awkward state, my awakened state. The kids, this is longhand.
Well, I got an email from him.
Yeah,
that I'd like to share that because he went to our nation's capital, and he went to the National Museum of American History, and he was disgusted. He said the whole place is compromised. He said it's sponsored by I actually sent a picture here. Let me blow it up. General Motors, AAA, State Farm, History Channel, United States Congress, Department, ExxonMobil, UPS Foundation. So all of, and then, 3M, Vulcan Materials. It's just the list goes on and on and on and on. And then he says, no wonder the exhibit talked about how great electric cars were in the early 20th century and how global warming is the reason why you should buy electric or hybrid cars. A real way to change history and the future with it here at the National Museum of American History. And then he says he noticed...
Welcome to America.
He says he noticed a long line going somewhere. I decided to investigate. I saw it was a mobile soup kitchen.
Oh, God.
So the slaves were in line. Economy sucks. And then what else did he have here? Just some vaccine stuff. So, and he's at high school?
Yeah, he's a high school kid, and he's
love that.
He's awakened, he says.
Yeah.
Michael Hazenkamp, Santa Clara, California, came in with $50, as did Kevin Payne in Richmond, Virginia. That's be our contributors for today's show. Number 542-9543 is coming up on Thursday. Please continue to support the show. Everyone knows that this is the way the show gets produced. It's not produced with any help from Vulcan Enterprises, General Motors, or anybody else.
AAA or anyone like that.
Dvorak.org/NA. It's your birthday.
And only one on the list today. And in case you were wondering, people do ask from time to time, hey, how do I get on the birthday list? All you have to do is send in a donation. $50 or more gets you mentioned on the show regardless, and we're happy to put you in the birthday list as an extra bonus. Matthew John Carey says happy birthday to Sir Josh Carey, turning 13 on August 31st. Happy birthday from your buddies here at the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah.
And then we have Sir James Spitzer becoming the Baron of Jamaica Plain, Boston. We'll reflect that in the show notes at 542.nashownotes.com. And even though I'm pretty sure he already is a knight, the note was confusing, so I'm just going to ask Sir Andrew Largerman to step forward, please. I think we need to ensure that you are properly knighted, my friend. So we hereby, maybe for the second time, pronounce the Sir Andrew Largerman, Knight of the No Agenda Roundtable. All you got to do is step on up, and we've got for you your hookers and blow, Brent Boys and Chardonnay, hot pants and booze, long-haired heavy metal guys and scotch, wenches and beer, Rubenesque women and rosé, gushes and sake, vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, sparkly siren escorts, and your mutton and mead. And head on over to noagendanation.com/rings. Sorry?
We have to mention Baroness Francine and put her on the same list with Spitzer.
But I thought she already was a baroness.
Well,
do it. It's okay. No, I don't care.
Put her on there.
I don't care. I'll do it as many times as she wants.
She doesn't.
Francine.
You need to send her a crown.
Francine Scoble.
Francine Scoble.
She's going to be so mad now.
Scoble.
We should send her a crown. I think that's a good idea. Send her a crown. Nice. Hey, thanks, everybody, especially those of you checking in for our 6th anniversary, which is coming up in October. I guess we're going to have a super long list of everyone who gave us, helped us out with 6666, or as many sixes as you want.
So somebody was tweeting us that they wanted us to talk a little bit about Syria, which is becoming a joke.
Well,
wait. Before we do that, we didn't play this clip last show. I want to play it.
Okay.
I still think it's a funny clip. This is Obama and the hecklers, and this is where Obama's being heckled at one of his speeches because somebody in the back was irked about Bradley Manning, and then it became a fiasco. And Obama has no sense of crowd control.
As any middle-class family will tell you, we are not... I hear you. I got you. No, that's fine. Wait. We're okay.
Is he saying that the Secret Service? We're okay. The royal we is okay, no worries?
I guess.
That's okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Kyle.
Hey.
Kyle. Hey.
Hold on.
Wow.
Hold on a minute.
Wow.
Hold on a minute, sir.
Man.
Hold on.
Wow. What's happening here? I didn't see this. What is actually taking place while
people were protesting? There's a group protesting the 35-year sentence of Bradley Manning, and I guess this woman started yelling. And then I guess the goons came in, and then everybody, because it's a liberal audience of students, they all got bent out of shape.
The goons.
And so they all started making noise, and the goons, he had to back them off. And
hey, goons. This is good.
So,
goons.
Now, hold on a second.
Wow.
Can I just say that as hecklers go, that young lady was very polite. She was. And, she brought up an issue of importance, and that's part of what America's all about.
Wow. That's what America's all about. Shut up, slave.
That didn't get a lot of press.
No. I did catch... he said something funny. I don't know if it was that. Was this at the school where it was at Birmingham, I think?
Some school, yeah.
He said... Because he went off script. This is the problem. And he said something pretty funny. When you get your metaphors or your what do you call them? Sayings. What are they called?
Your similes, your metaphors, your old sayings.
All that stuff,
Your bromides.
Right. And whose parents are under-resourced, we shouldn't be helping them get a leg up. And so some of the proposals we've seen now are talking about even deeper cuts in programs like Head Start, even deeper cuts in education support, even deeper cuts in basic science and research. And, that's like eating your corn seed.
I think the expression is eating your seed corn.
Your corn seed.
It's really funny. Eating your corn seed. It's like, no. That's like eating your seed corn, which is like, your basic, root
we used
corn.
to plant for more corn.
Yeah.
You have to eat it because you're starving to death.
Or maybe someone just wrote that incorrectly, which is that's even funnier.
Yeah, he can't even think, and he can't think for himself, apparently. So I found this to be interesting. So to go back to the Syria thing after this little aside,
it seems like
the
he's
national treasure.
Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. And it seems like the one thing President Obama knows is if he actually goes into Syria, then it's over for him. Because then everything all the facade that has been put up, it will end. It will just end because if American troops go in, and we're already there, the ships are positioned, We got the British ships over there in Gibraltar. I mean, everything's ready to go. This thing is a tinderbox. He just doesn't want to get blamed. He wants it to be, the international community. But really, they're all BP, Total, Exxon. All the oil companies are ready to go. But
everybody's ready to do this and that, even though that's just for the pipelines because there's not much resources in Syria.
It's just to stop everything there. Yeah.
The thing that's interesting, I'm starting to rethink this so-called chemical attack that took place right when the UN inspectors were there.
The video was uploaded before it happened.
Yeah, that one.
That one. Yeah.
I think it's because Obama made the mistake of drawing the line in the sand with chemical weapons. He said, if they do that, then we've got to do something.
Red line.
That was a mistake.
And as you know, I feel that chemical weapons are a good thing.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that again. It's
yeah,
just
we are. No, let me tell you why. Do you know that in 1999, in the state of Arizona, we gassed a prisoner to death? We still in California, it is still the backup plan for the lethal injection. We love the gas chamber. We love gassing people.
Well, that may or may not be true, but the point is that Obama said he's going to do something with the gas, and now all of a sudden gas is used in the most obvious way, which makes me think the Russians are behind it. Now, let's go and take a look at this PBS. This is the news hour, or National Treasure's news hour, which is we've decided is the one Gates is futzing with because he was not giving him any more money until they jazz up the show and add sound effects. So they have this situation where they describe the gassing, and they go and they tell you who's against it, and everyone's all upset. The British guy, the French guy. And then awkwardly, they mention the Russian guys against it, and unlike anybody else they talk about, they read a long quote from the Russian guy, which is actually interesting. The quote's interesting, and it makes you wonder. You just get the feeling that you're being set up for something or other, but the Russians are definitely making their position clear, and I think that there a lot of this going on. They're causing trouble. These guys are troublemakers.
While we're playing this, can you do whatever you normally do when you keep cutting out on Skype? It's like something happening there at the house.
Am I cutting out now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I didn't hear you say Bill Gates, and you keep cutting out like that every like.
Okay, well, you play that. I'm going to go look around.
All right. Nice knowing you.
Follow through on what they have claimed previously and give the investigators access to the sites, the opportunity to interview witnesses, the opportunity to collect physical samples, and other things that would help them reach a credible determination about what exactly occurred there.
World leaders, including the foreign ministers of Britain and Germany, and UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, expressed shock at the chemical weapons allegations and called for a thorough investigation, as did Russia, which has protected the Assad regime by vetoing UN sanctions aimed at ending the violence. In a statement, Russia's foreign ministry spokesman suggested the incident could be a provocation by the opposition, saying, "This is supported by the fact that the criminal act was committed near Damascus at the very moment when a mission of UN experts had successfully started their work of investigating allegations of the possible use of chemical weapons there."
Are you back? Oh, good, because I can say I love chemical weapons. They're much better than blowing people to pieces. It's so much cleaner. You keep the buildings. There's no mess to clean up. You said.
Yeah, you'd probably be a big proponent of the neutron bomb.
Yes, we've already discussed this. I don't understand why killing people one way or the other makes any difference.
They suffer more.
No, they don't. You
anyway.
suffer if you got your half your body blown to bits.
Okay, well, this is fine, but that's not the point of the clue.
Oh, wow, it just got worse.
Oh, JC's looking around because he's not on the machine. I'm not on the machine. You want to reconnect?
No. We'll just don't talk too loud. Talk quieter. When you talk louder, it's when it cuts out.
Huh. It's like a limiter. You didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I heard it. I'm just not responding.
Oh.
All right.
Why?
So,
what was wrong with my comment that might be like a limiter?
Well, it was what it was, You won't let me talk about my love for chemical weapons.
My love.
Yeah, I don't understand. It doesn't compute with me that.
Yes, I know it doesn't. Yeah, you have to shoot people. You have a chance of survival if you get shot.
It's giving someone a shot? Is that what it's about? Like, you have no shot of surviving if it's chemical weapon? The hypocrisy is just beyond me. I don't understand why you don't think this is.
I don't know why you think it. I mean, it's just like it's an agreement. I think any agreement that lowers the kind of, well, let's just have everything. Let's have let's start with clubs, and then we have chemical weapons and gas and let's poison the oceans. Let's just take the Baltic Sea and put a bunch of poison in there and kill everyone. I mean, it just you kill your own people with gas too.
They can't do that. The ocean's too big. They're trying to kill us with food. Look at the mac and cheese for 39 cents. Come on, that's chemical warfare right there. You're cutting out again.
I didn't say anything.
Good. Here, can I tell you what we're doing here in America, though?
Okay.
I was in charge. This is a Marine colonel testifying. Just testifying.
I was in charge. I was the Ministry of Defense coordinator. My job was to man, train, and equip the Iraqi army in Al-Anbar, Najaf, Karbala, and northern Baghuz provinces. And I can tell you right now, somebody had the great idea to get rid of the Iraqi army, so when we rebuilt it, we did everything we could to make it as strong as possible. And I'll tell you right now, Homeland Security would kick their butts in a week. What's happening here is we're building a domestic military because it's unlawful or unconstitutional to use American troops on American soil. So what we're doing is we're building a military. My best friend, who's a SWAT officer in Nashua, who came to Iraq with me to train the Iraqi police, sent me an email with a picture of him in the media on the streets of Watertown, Mass, wearing the exact same combat gear that we had in Iraq, only it was a different color. And the way we do things in the military is called task organization. You take a command, and then you attach units to it in order to accomplish the mission. What's happening is Homeland Security is pre-staging gear, equipment, consistent. What they're trying to do is use standardized vehicles, standardized equipment. I saw a picture in the Boston Globe during the marathon bombing where there was a state police officer. Actually, there were two officers. They both had identical helmets, flak jackets, weapons, everything I wore in Iraq, only it was all blue. The officer on one side had a big patch on his back that said Massachusetts State Police. Another officer next to him, his patch said Boston Police. And so what we're doing here, and let's not kid about it, we're building a domestic army and we're shrinking the military because the government is afraid of its own citizens. The last time more than 10 terrorists were in the same place at one time was September 11th, and all these vehicles in the world wouldn't have prevented it, nor would it have helped anybody. So I don't know where we're going to use this many vehicles and this many troops. Concord is just one little cog in the wheel. We're building an army over here, and I can't believe that people aren't seeing it. Is everybody blind?
That's the part that we've never figured out, John, is that they're standardizing everything.
Yeah, this is the government, federal government has been, they've in my little town here, they've been sending money to every town, but they have to spend the money on like some gear, some SWAT teams. Everyone's got the littlest town with the smallest populations have to have SWAT teams. There's, we've talked about the stats on this before. There's 30,000 of those SWAT missions a year when it used to be 30.
But I didn't know. I didn't realize that this is about standardizing the gear so that all these different police forces, they can all interchange all their stuff, and the 50 caliber will snap on to the next guy's Jeep.
So it's like a giant military.
Giant military, yeah. Only
they've
blue
militarized the police departments in most cities, which is not policing anymore. It's now essentially turning the country into a prison camp with these guys as the guards.
Yeah,
and it's deplorable.
A prison camp.
Yeah, it's a giant prison camp.
I'm telling you, you'll be begging for chemical weapons to be used on you. You watch. Baroness Francine Hardaway says, "Dear Adam Curry and at The Real Dvorak, I am not at Scobalizer. I am his shill on gadgets. Thanks for the crown." All right. Yeah, so this all does have to do. There's a lot of weird things coming up. So if you look in the conspiracy circles, the Federal Emergency Management Agency has been ordering all these like ready-to-eat meals for October. There's something going on in FEMA Region 3. Did you know there were regions for this FEMA thing?
I did know that, yes.
Yeah, what region are you in?
I don't know.
I'm in FEMA Region 6, apparently.
Well, it's California. I don't know.
I don't know. But FEMA Region...
Let me just look it up. I'll look it up.
Yeah, FEMA Region 3 is Washington, D.C., Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. And we've heard about West Virginia for a while. But now the CDC has ordered $11 million worth of antibiotics for FEMA Region 3.
You want to type into Google FEMA Region Map and then click on images, and there's all these.
And what are you?
I'm in 9.
Oh,
You're
niner.
in 6.
I'm in 6, yes. And then in November, we're supposed to have a power grid drill. 150 companies and groups will take part in a drill that will simulate attacks on the power grid. Why do we need to do this?
I don't know. They got money to spend. They got money to spend. It's free lunches.
Well, I think if you look at all the things coming together at the same time, we just had another one of these cyber scams where NASDAQ had, what did they say? Oh, the Russian hackers, they're getting into NASDAQ. Yeah, whatever. The Russian hackers run NASDAQ already. They program all the high-frequency trading. So we've got the cyber scams ready. I'm sure, the more I look at all the pieces on the board, the more I think that finally your cycle theory, and you're an idiot, by the way, for not having your book out. Because, after October, when this all happens, no one's going to have money for a book.
This is true. I better get my act together.
I mean, I'll help promote it if you can get it out now.
Yeah.
What doesn't just put it together and put it on a
Giblet.
Kickstarter. No, Kickstarter.
What is the way? By the way, somebody keeps saying you keep using the word giblet.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That is an Amazon ebook. That's a giblet.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but
I never heard this from anyone but you.
Yeah, I know. I made it up.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a giblet.
It's a giblet. Yes. The president had a meeting with all of the top financial guys now. Members of the Federal Reserve, the
October
FDIC.
is on the schedule. I still think that if they keep this quantitative easing up,
they're tapering.
They can sneak through, and then we're good to go.
John, I'm going to call you back. It's getting too bad now.
Okay.
Let's see if this works. It's really bad. You there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I don't know what... It's almost like your computer hard drive is glitching. With each new file, it has to write away and send off to Utah. Okay. Yeah, no, it's on the schedule, and the president had this big meeting with all of the let me see, Federal Reserve, FDIC, CFTC, SEC, Federal Housing Finance Agency, CEOs of the banks. I always get a little worried because that's what you see later on HBO about that meeting. Kevin Spacey was in it.
Right. Well, something's up. I'm looking at these maps of these regions. Your best bet is to live in northern Montana.
Oh, Molly Wood has family there. We can all go to Molly's farm.
Yeah, Molly's farm.
Hi, I'm Adam. Yeah, no, Molly said it would be okay. I can just see her dad sitting there like, hey, get off my land. I'm Molly's dad. Get off my land. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be the best one because it's the biggest in terms of square feet, and it's the furthest away from HQ.
Right.
Because HQ is in Denver for that region.
And
5, 6, and region 8.
Did you hear about the Geithner Summers memo? Did you hear this was a Greg Palast revelation that was kind of brought back about the World Trade Organization Financial Services Agreement?
Yeah, what do you think of that Palast guy?
I want to like him, and then for some reason, I always turn up I don't know if he's shilling or not.
Well, he's always wearing that stupid hat.
This is a problem. The hat is a little annoying, but I got the hair, so I'm not going to pin that on him. But what he has, and the story is quite interesting, and I have the copy of the memo, which is from little Timmy Geithner, who, by the way, someone told me that Timmy Geithner is on the short list perhaps to replace the Bernanke. If that happens, then October is. Then you know
that's
it's happening.
Summers.
No, I also heard Timmy is also on the list.
No, I never heard this.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you what I get in the email.
It's easy to use the two, except one looks like an evil villain. The other one looks like Leave It to Beaver.
Right, but it doesn't matter which one gets the job. We're in trouble either way.
Yeah, no, they should. Yeah, because they're going to pull the plug on the economic. On the quantitative easing, right. And they're going to end up sinking the economy.
Yeah, yeah. The whole system kind of falls apart because then there's just no fake money. But this so did you see this this memo which is supposed to be the smoking gun? What do you? So let me explain it briefly. The concept is that. And, of course, it uses all the hot buttons. The subject, World Trade Organization, financial services negotiations, industry consultations. And Timmy says to Summers, actually, as we enter the end game, and that's the trigger right there, is to use the word end game, of World Trade Organization financial services negotiations, I believe it would be a good idea for you to touch base with the CEOs of the major U.S. banking and securities firms. And so, from what I understand, the way Pallas laid this out is that it was set up to have all banks all around the world get ready for derivatives so they could basically just blow all of this nasty shit all over the place. And he's insinuating that the end game was to tank the world. I don't think that's necessarily true. Although I do like the idea, and I went back and I watched some of his interviews with the guy from Credit Lyonnais, the head of the World Trade Organization, financial services, and they all do look like incredible douchebags. I mean, no doubt. And I think that they all are totally trying to steal anything they can, but purposely bring down the world. I don't think so.
No, there'd be no point to it for them.
No.
But they do want to get. I think there's they were, according to that article, they were working together with world governments and our government and the United Nations to get all the banks around everywhere to deregulate.
Yes, for the derivatives, specifically for derivatives, and to remove the firewall between investment banking and
right, which that was accomplished by Clinton,
right, long
ago. So I don't know how he.
Well, the memo is from 97. 97, who was president? Wasn't Clinton still president?
Yeah. Clinton is the one who changed most of the banking rules.
Yeah, all of the banking rules.
Yeah, to open it up for wild speculation.
Yeah.
But of course, let's blame Bush. So
yeah, Bush ain't gonna die in the saddle though.
No, seems unlikely.
Yeah,
this is a real saddle. So I said it 3 times so far.
No, you've said it about 50 times.
Okay, well, why don't you ring the bell, please? Anyways,
that does it. I have a little email here that I'd perhaps I could read. My day job as a WAN optimization software engineer for a company that supports enterprise networks, which support guest Wi-Fi services, e.g., Denny's, Starbucks, Hilton, etc., I learned something of possible interest to you. Every guest Wi-Fi IP flow is logged, including the guest MAC address identifying the actual laptop or tablet for law enforcement purposes.
What?
Yeah. I didn't actually realize that they were doing that.
It doesn't surprise me. I would have been more surprised if they weren't doing it, to be honest about it.
Yeah, but it seems like there's only 1 or 2 companies that do all the backhaul. Is that what is the name of that, like Sturmbannhaus, or what is it called? You see it pop up all the time.
No.
Yeah, some hotels have it. Bahnhof House. It's like one company that does that. It's very Nazi sounding.
Yeah.
Baumhaus.
Yeah, don't know.
I ran into a solicitor from Southern Poverty Law Center on South Congress 2 days ago.
They're just standing out there asking you to sign something?
Hey, can I talk to you guys about the Southern Poverty Law Center? And I went, no, I hate them. They're liars. and Mickey went, "Shut up! I want to go get a burger." She didn't want me to get into it with him. It's really sad. And another one's like,
they're I hate them. They're liars. Yeah, they just then walk. Yeah.
And then when we came back, we had to go past the guy again to get in the car. And
did he give you the evil eye?
No. Here's what happened. He looked, he saw it was me, and he stepped back. Physically stepped back into the shadows. Yeah, it's called the petition avoidance tactic, which is now people are starting to like it. Let me see. I got one here.
I hate them. They're liars. That's all you have to say.
And it just pops out. Let me see. We got an email from Charlie Brown. Yes, that's his real name, Charlie Brown. Your petition avoidance tactic is genius. I was walking out of the library this week, and I was approached by a lady who asked if I was a registered voter. Why, yes, I am, I replied. She said, well, are you Democrat or Republican? Because I have some individuals who would like to get on the ballot. My reply, I don't believe in people getting on the ballot. Confusion began to spread all over her face as she stammered out, well, how do you vote for them then? My reply, we wouldn't. And that was checkmate. It really is fun when you get into it. It really does. What did I have the other day? It keeps happening for some reason on South Congress. It's like, I don't know, they're popping up now, and it's really annoying. Yeah,
they have some mark on the sidewalk showing there's a lot of rubes and suckers that walk past that thing. It's like hobos in the 30s.
And it's 100 degrees in Texas and Austin right now. I don't want to stand there and talk to you about the Southern Poverty Law Center, and I mean it. They're liars. I hate those guys. They literally lie about organizations, call them, like, oh, crazy people.
So play this clip. This is just a short little...
I get to do this. There we go.
Oh, you're going to read your email?
No, it's closing it out.
Oh, you didn't play it opening, though.
No, I just slid into it. No, I slid into it. I slid into it. Don't worry about it.
This is the way I think you handle, you get it. Nowadays, it's a known fact that we talk about this a lot. You can't get news. Nobody will talk to you. They think it's a sin to talk to the press and all the rest. So you just play it like this. Ray Suarez invites the Army.
Okay.
World War II. Christine Jorgensen, an American soldier who served as a man, returned from military service and became Christine. In Manning's case, the focus now lies on how the Army will proceed with the soldier's request and what that means for the private's future in prison. We invited a representative of the Army to join us, but none was available to appear tonight.
Yeah.
They have thousands of people.
So either they didn't ask it right.
No, they asked it right.
It's really, I find it fascinating that the national conversation is about the NSA and transgenderization, anti-gay Putin stuff. It's all very sexual, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's very strange. Like this is what confuses America. Oh, throw some transgender at them, they'll never figure it out.
Well, I couldn't figure out the one with Amy Goodman, that's for sure.
Yeah. I got a note from Tristan, one of our producers, and in the South Pacific, it's called a lava, the man dress.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of a man dress, and I'm going to see if I can order me a lava, and I'm going to wear it around town.
But you get a muumuu.
No. The lava is good looking.
Oh, bull crap!
It's the Polynesian dress. It is. It's also Samoan.
That's the reason.
Yeah, I like it.
Lava. What's it called? Man dress.
Lava. It's a lava.
Clothing. Lava clothing. Let's hit.
Yeah, lava. It's good stuff.
This is what the Samoans wear because they can't really get into pants.
Yeah. Oh, and let me tell you, I am.
Here we go.
I am looking tight now with that spin class going on.
Woo. Well, then you should show it off. Some tight-fitting clothes. Yeah. Wear Speedos.
I'm going to wear.
Why are you wearing lavas? This is ludicrous.
Speedos, not a good look. Not a good look. No.
Speedos with a cod piece should be looking great.
No, I'm going to wear the lava. I can wear a tight lava.
So all these guys are wearing lavas, which look like a piece of crap, by the way.
No, it's not true.
Cheap looking, and then a white T-shirt. That seems to be the or no top.
You seem to think it's a real problem. You seem to have a problem with men in dresses.
I think it's silly.
Why?
Because men, because it looks silly. Have you ever seen some of these pictures? Here's a couple of people.
I'm sorry. Crocs are the height of fashion. I'm sorry, John. You're right. What am I saying?
Some of mine. You don't even know what these Crocs are. There's little. I don't wear Crocs, by the way. I've never owned the brand, but they.
Worse, you wear faux Crocs.
Those people with lava. Where I'm looking at all these pictures. A couple guys golfing. They're wearing these things, and they both of them have those crazy sand flip flops. So you're thinking, so this is going to be your look. You're going to have I'll describe it. You got a red lava, some flip-flops,
no.
your calves hanging out, a Hawaiian shirt that looks like crap, and a baseball cap. Unbelievable.
No, I think I can make it work for me in a different way. I don't think I need
you're going to stay at home. I challenge you to wear this outfit to the farmer's market.
I will wear the lava. Oh, by the way, I need to thank Farmer Chris, the farmer's market. Hey, Farmer Chris. Mickey said, you got to thank Farmer Chris once in a while. You're right. He is our biggest fan.
Where's the Oryx?
No, that's Sebastian, the French guy. Don't get me started on Sebastian.
What happened? You guys have a little beef? Did you have a beef?
Yeah.
What happened?
No, nothing.
Did he do a full of French trick on you and sell you something that wasn't worth the price?
No, he's just French. That's just it.
Did he try to hit you with the Renault?
He's been gone. His wife has been manning the stall, and it's been very pleasurable. No, I get along with her very nice. But he was there the other day, and then he was like, "Oh!" Before you know, it's like $40, and you got some mustard you didn't want. What the hell? I'm afraid to say no to him.
Oh, so he's a good salesman, and you have no resistance, to the Frenchman.
Anyway, what I commit to, I'm not going to wear the stupid flip flops or the baseball cap, but I think Farmer Chris and I will wear our lavas at the market. I'm not worried about that at all. I think people will like
the ass a lot.
People see you're so not in touch with your just manliness. Just like you think that because you wear a dress like you're a woman all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No. No, shame on you.
Yes, you're gonna have panties. You're gonna wear panties with them.
Shame on you.
Just wondering, bra.
You are sad. You're just sad, man.
Oh yeah,
you are sad. All right, play us out here, big boy. What you got?
Well, I do have a couple of little things. I thought that this was interesting. This is the guy you're reading that book about Washington D.C.
Yeah, in this town.
The guy was on the National Treasure discussing some of the things, and there were two little clips I have. One about the theory that Republicans that gridlock is good, which I kind of agree with what they talk about. But this is the future of politics clip. With him and the guy who wrote a book on the Tea Party are sitting there, best friends, kind of talking about what a mess everything is. And there was a couple. I thought this was a misleading but interesting kind of conversation.
And this is
the future of politics clip.
Right, no, but I'm just trying to think that the two guys talking, the one guy is, what's his name?
Your buddy who wrote the book in this town, he's the Democrat, and the other guy's a Republican, which makes it even more interesting.
You write about a celebritized culture, and not only from people who are on TV and make millions of dollars,
right, like all of us,
right. but people who work in public service and become kind of celebrities too. Is that new?
Yeah, it's new in that new media is new. It's new in that Twitter is new. It's new in that Facebook is new. And I do think that, I think we are in a business now as journalists in which the gold standard has become punditry as opposed to reporting.
Hooray!
If you can be outrageous, if you can have a better shouting match.
Enter my dress. I'm on my way to Hollywood.
On TV, if you can have a more, attention-getting blog, you are probably in a better place. You're in a better place to succeed, to make money than other people. And frankly, it's part of a larger phenomenon in politics today in which Washington and the political class really does very, very well when nothing gets done.
So does that explain why, the three of us could probably make a list with 20 or 30 names on it, of very well-known elected officials who have no singular legislative achievement, no law that bears their name, no linchpin moment in history to which they contributed, but they're famous.
Absolutely. I mean, fame itself has become the defining imperative. I mean, look at the 2012 Republican race for president, for instance. I mean, you could argue that Michelle Bachmann, for instance, to go back to sort of Robert's congressional space, is not exactly a pillar of great achievement in the House, but she became very, very famous as a sort of a cable person, as a staple in the conversation.
And it's the flip side on the Democratic side, Anthony Weiner, who has been in the news a lot. I mean, Anthony Weiner was known as a talking head during the health care debate and thereafter, but he had no legislative achievement to speak of. In fact, was basically an outcast in the Democratic caucus, did very little to lift, to help either in showing up to committee meetings, crafting legislation, but he was known for being himself. He was known for being a talking head.
I really implore all of you to read the This Town, Two Weddings and a Funeral, whatever it's called, Mark Leibowitz. It's a very, very, very good book. And this is not lip service that he's paying right here. It is, I mean, he goes into such detail about the a-holes walking around making millions of dollars, revolving in and out of consultancies. And, I mean, John, if we move to Washington, D.C., and I mean, guaranteed, we could be millionaires. I
believe that's true.
Just by with this podcast, and of course, we'd be outrageous. You with the Crocs, me with the dress. Oh, it's those guys. They know what's going on. They're so hip.
We get invited to a lot of parties, and we'd schmooze.
Yeah, I've actually mentioned this to Mickey. I said we should move to D.C. She's like, what?
Yeah.
That didn't go over too well. But
she'd probably enjoy it because she could board it over every those shorties.
But there are people who. I've been marking up my copy because it's on the Kindle. This is one woman who always does a lunch. In fact, I think it was her house where the First Lady was interrupted. Remember during the
the fake interruption for the
right. This is around
one of the scripted interruptions.
Yeah, and
unlike this last one.
So she always does a lunch and a dinner, the correspondence dinner. This is a lot of it revolves around this, and how Maria Bartiromo, she's like everyone's just sliming all over her. And they just love the celebrities. It's a stomach churning tome, is what it is. It is, but it for us, for someone who's listened to No Agenda, you're like, duh. This. Why is the way you? You don't hear. I guess what was this on this particular clip?
This was on the NewsHour.
Oh, okay. No one watches it. No wonder. All right. And then we have the gridlock clip. What is that? The same guy?
Well, the gridlock clip was just kind of one of these little clips I put on here just in case we had gotten to something where I could throw it in. But this is the same two guys, and they discuss something that reminds me of when I worked for the Air Pollution District. The clip, and I'll tell my anecdote and why I didn't realize that people moan and groan about the Republicans don't want to get anything done. The positive thing is the way he portrays this, at least from I think is the other guy, wrote the book on the Tea Party. But play this clip, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
And could you then shake your computer a bit? Maybe that'll help with the cutting out.
Are a lot of public figures who point with pride to all the things that haven't been able to get done, thanks to me.
Yeah.
It's a new yardstick, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because the unit of measurement I think that Democrats traditionally use is how many bills were passed. And for the freshman class of the 112th Congress, who are now in their sophomores, the ones who are still around anyway, they say that's not the right way to measure things. Government has already regulated too much. It's already passing too many spending bills. The less, the better. So their view is that obstructionism is precisely what they ought to be doing. Gridlock is a good thing.
Yeah, well, these guys are just part of the problem, obviously. They're just...
everybody's part of the
They're really
problem.
part of it. Yeah, they're really part of it.
But so I remember when I was working for the government, and we had cars. They gave us cars we'd take home, and you jumped in the car, you were at work. And so we would spend a lot of time in meetings, coffee meetings, different coffee shops. Never went in the office. Sometimes you go shop. And so you go shopping, and then once in a while somebody would have like the logo of the operation on the side of the car. You'd try to get those off so nobody knew where you worked, and they could see it was a state plate. But then you were at the mall shopping, and every once in a while somebody get busted for this. a really big memo about, you can't, people are shopping on their company time, they should be working. And our attitude was that when you're working, generally speaking, you're making somebody's life miserable. There's a number of the inspectors would go out and they'd find somebody to hate. And then they'd hound him and they'd dog him, and because now he'd be spending all his time on this one guy.
Wait a minute, so you're telling me this is exactly what we always think about the government, is that you pick on someone? It's exactly the truth?
Yeah, we had this one guy who really loved picking on people, and he would just be, we talk about him, we said, this guy's horrible.
John,
I feel so sorry for him.
It's really hard to, you're cutting out every third word now. I don't know.
Okay, well, we have
to
end them. We'll pick this up where we left off.
It sucks. I'm sorry. It's just, I know it's going to be a good story, but
no, I understand.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, man.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. Let me
the dress. It's okay. I'm good with it.
Let me take everyone out on a high note, okay?
Garter belt.
Are you doing a twat today?
No.
Oh, because you could have worn your Crocs. Okay, they're Speedos, but it's the same thing. It's an off-brand Croc. All right, so this is something I did not know. Did you know that Rush Limbaugh is in big trouble? That his ratings, this is for those of you who don't know, this is like a big blowhard guy who's been on the radio for 10 years in America. And
1987.
So it's longer than that.
He invented the genre.
So apparently, yes, he invented the Republican blowhard talk show genre. Apparently, his ratings are in the tank. Cumulus Media wants to throw him off the flagship station in New York. Did you know any of this?
No.
Yeah, it's like everyone in the talk show, in the radio. You should know this. You listen to all these shows. Everyone in the Republican talk show circuit, talk radio, is freaking out. Because, all of a sudden, he's not so powerful anymore. And he had like a 10-year, $400 million contract or something?
Yeah.
And so, with this in mind, why is it that I hear this just yesterday on CNN?
Republican friends privately. And by the way, sometimes they say to me privately, I agree with you, but I'm worried about a primary from, somebody in the Tea Party back in my district. Or I'm worried about what Rush Limbaugh is going to say about me on the radio.
They're playing. They're playing together. He's promoting him.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
He's totally promoting him when his ratings are in the crapper.
Well, I don't know that his ratings are in the crapper. This is information from both Media Matters and Salon.com.
No.
I'm not. I would see that. This has happened before. Yeah. I would like to see some numbers, not a bunch of bullcrap.
I got it from Talkers, which is kind of the...
Okay, Talkers, I would count that.
It's all right. It's kind of the diary, but it's okay. I believe it. I believe that people are tuning out. Who wants to listen to this guy? When you could listen to the best podcast in the universe. Even you cutting out every third word is better than that.
I would agree.
If you can keep your sentences really short, it works.
Yes.
No, too long. No. We got to figure that out.
I'm not saying anything.
It's weird. It literally feels like a hard drive is freaking out on you.
Well, you're coming in loud and clear.
Yeah. We have the No Agenda producer update coming up on the stream. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And remember, we will be here again on Thursday with more of the No Agenda show for you. Those of you listening inside the three-letter agencies, you can always go to curry.com or dvorak.org/blog to go and pick up your copy. And for the rest of you, noagendanation.com, noagendashow.com. And dvorak.org/NA is where we'd like you to go to support our cause, keep us on the air, keep us rolling, since we don't have no $400 million 10-year contract.
No, I wish.
Coming to you from the sloping hills of Gitmo Nation, Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And barely coming to you from Northern Silicon Valley, where I tried to pick up the slack, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll talk to you again on Thursday, right here on No Agenda.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA